Yeah, turn the recording on. Turn the recording on. Everything's plugged in.
So Robbie, be quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, we should close the door. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, so this is the final live event of this training session, this in number 4 here. And so we've covered a lot of the material multiple times. So I want to refresh and go through it again a little bit. We're just going to start now with, I just want to demonstrate what kind of some of the primary themes are so that they're kind of in our brain from the beginning. And then we're going to start moving quickly so that we turn on the nervous system. And then we'll go into the drills, okay? But first is this concept of totoku hoshi, which is the sword that creates a shield that you're shielded by, right? Totoku hoshi. And hoshi is the form of a cannon or a catapult or something that shoots this out. So when you're thinking about it, you need to think about how you're hidden behind it, how you're hiding behind the shield. And then where does the shield go? The shield goes between the target, which is you, your head, your torso, something, and the next immediate threat. So when you understand how to basically simply do this, if you draw your sword out and you bring it around and you hold it in front of you with your elbows just touching your side here, that is just basically the form of totoku. Then you add your body to it and you can twist. So if I'm looking at you guys, you can see I'm hidden behind the sword. If I'm moving, see how my feet move, but I'm not doing this. I'm not moving it with my arms. I'm not waving the tip around. I'm keeping the tip essentially forward and then angling my body to create the angle of the totoku, the shield. So if I take this shape and I go, you can see what happens. It just goes in the daijodan. Okay? So I have you see all the kamais come out. I don't have to go with my arms in crazy positions if I learn to hold this shape right here. This will give me what I need. Now, of course, in real life, there'll be some minor modifications that you may do, right? This may happen. But the basic shape looks like this. And so when we're moving, what I want us to be thinking about is moving from this position and going into this position. This is totoku. This can be done, but that's not what we need. What we need is, see what it looks like? See how I'm moving and I'm staying behind this so that if I was put into a slingshot and fired out, it would just be coming out like this. Okay? This is the idea of the totoku. So when we look at this, the next piece I need for us to understand, where's the other shinai? It's right there. So Gary, take that shinai, right? Is when we do this stuff and we have these soft training weapons, like they're covered with a leather or vinyl or plastic or whatever they're using, they have a lot of friction when they make contact. So we need to try and find something that doesn't have so much friction. This is better. We can still cheat, but it's a little bit more difficult. So if Gary's in daijodan and just cut at my head and cut through my head, like you're going to cut through my head. Cut, knock my sword down to the floor, okay? Okay, now, notice Gary's sword comes down here, right? When you're using an actual sword, it's not an axe, so you're not actually cutting through. So Gary's trained himself to actually go whoop and stop here, okay? And then everyone makes a habit of cutting like karateka punch. And they stop, not touching the target, not going through the target. They stop there, like it's point sparring. And people sword point spar because they stop actually cutting. And then if you do that, only that all the time, you lose the essence of, well, cutting. Just like if you point punch all the time, you don't know how to actually hit a target And what happens when that target doesn't move, moves a lot, whatever, the force feedback, you need to be practicing hitting a target. So what I'm going to do now, Gary, is I'm going to cut you, and I want you to block the sword, okay? So I'm going to cut. Your fingers okay? Right? So that's why I put this piece on here. That's why you have a suba, because that's what really happens. You heard it hit and it slid down. So I want you to do that, right? So slide down. So you're hitting, you're playing what's called shambara, which is two dudes whacking their swords together, okay? That's not a sword fight. Well, it is. The swords are fighting each other. Stupid, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to, since you're afraid to hit me here, cut in space right here, okay? Okay, good. Now one more time. Just cut in space right there. Now notice how it goes down like that. Good. Now you don't have to go. What I want you to do right now is lightly, like a little butterfly. I want you to go boom and let your sword continue going in the direction it's going to go. Okay, so there. That's what's going to happen with the sword. Now it may not go that far down to the ground, but it's not going to stop here. Why would it stop here if he were trying to cut me? It wouldn't. It's like the punch wouldn't stop here if I were trying to punch him. So you have to let the thing go. So now, the reason I'm saying this is you see how difficult it is, even in highly trained, skilled people, to do what actually happens, because we have training habits. So now, I want you to, as you cut with the sword, cut, and imagine you're going to cut to my waist. Okay? So just do that. Good. Now, one more time. So you see where this actually goes. Okay? So now, when we're doing the sword thing, if he's going to come to cut me, it's going to boom like that. See what happens? It's already there. It's already done. Now, don't cut to my waist. Just cut like boom. So you stop it at somewhere there. It's fine to do that, right? So it's boom. See where it goes here? That's why we need a suba. It's going to come down, hit suba, and it's going to bounce off. And then it's going to be somewhere around here if he has control. If he has control. Now notice where I keep totoku. This is the point I wanted to get to. You see how much effort it takes just to get to. Here's why we have the kamae of totoku, right? To get to here. Because once he's done that cut, what will be the next thing he's doing? Dan, he's cutting again. How long will it take for him between cut one and cut two? There's no time, exactly. So when he cuts, I'm going to cut you a minute. I just want you to do the thing that I just did, okay? I did that, okay? Boom, boom, it's here. From this position, what can I do next? And remember, I'm not going to stop and look because he's already killing me. So as soon as I feel this and I feel his sword is here, what am I going to be doing? Trying to get that sword from killing me, right? So watch how it looks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go boom, whoa, like that. And I'm going to be immediately trying to be, otherwise this thing's already on me. It's already on me, right? So when he does this, you cut at me now. I'm going to do this thing, right? So it goes boom. I need to be guarding that. See how I just took this and put it in place here? Because I know if he's push the sword against me, see what happens right here? Or now at this point, he's trying to go underneath. So try to go underneath. It goes boop. And either way. So if it goes underneath, right, it just goes down like that. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing this thing towards him like that. So I've got the shape and I'm pushing it towards him. So now slow motion, you know what that looks like, okay? I'm going to go boom, boom. See the totoku? See, I just twist my hips to generate the shape right here. That's totoku. Now, when we have these padded weapons, you're going to have this friction that gets stuck. So now, cut and do the thing you were doing at the beginning, right? So stop in here. So here, this won't stop here. But what I want us to train is, we've done this, is to do this. Boom. Now watch again. I'm not doing anything like this with my sword. I'm just taking this and going. Notice how this stays the same. There's a minor shift, but essentially my arms are staying the same here. Okay? So it's falling off, it's okay. As we're going here, so as we go, boom, whoop. Now, notice that the tip of my sword did not go back. Everyone, including me for years, trained this. Cut. There is no possibility of that happening. There's no way that I'm going to go forward while he's going forward and then stop, go back, come around, and come forward again without getting me. He's not going to be in that same position. So I don't do that. Instead it goes boom. So it just keeps pushing up and into control here. And even if he's trying to like with his sword, right? Doesn't matter. Because, and this is an important piece of totoku, I'm not fighting his sword. I'm not defending his sword. The sword is used as a shield. I'm actually taking control of his space that he needs to operate in. So when you start to think about totoku that way, instead of trying to deflect sword cuts or block sword cuts, you're actually controlling the operating space that he needs to come at you. Does that make sense? So that is the fundamental piece of this. Now, without the swords, totoku looks like this. So here's another easy analogy. When you're sitting in your car and you hold your steering wheel, do you hold your steering wheel like this? How about this? No. Do you hold it like this? No. So these are two extremes, and they're both wrong. You hold it, relax. See how everyone holds it? So the position you hold your steering wheel in is totoku. So it's something you've done a bajillion times already. You've trained totoku into your system. As soon as your brain makes the connection of driving the car and martial art, you'll be awesome. So now we're going to do this. Gary and I are going to play ninja tag. We're going to start farther away, and we're going to come in, and I'm going to be the attacker. Gary's the defender. Both attacker and defender are just trying to do this. Get the hand out there. This hand would be up too, but I'm just trying to show you this hand, and get him so that his structure is taken back. So Gary comes in to get me. I'm here, and I go, bloop. Don't bounce me. Hold it back.
Hold it back.
Yeah. So if bounce me like you just did.
You're gonna write
Okay?
yourself.
Right. So how do we know if he did it correct or not?
You don't have your balance back.
Right. So if he just goes, he may have taken my balance there, but now I just fix it, so we're still in the game. So what we want is like, as we come in, we do our thing, and I go, boo. See how he took a step? He's like, oh, I got to take another step. The fact that I made him have to take the step, I won. So we're both, aggressor and defender, are trying to get each other's chest. Okay? Really the goal is to beat the other person to the punch, to be the first to do it. The defender also has option B, which is way more difficult, and you shouldn't try to do it all the time. You should try option A, which is just get their chest. Option B is this. If he's the aggressor coming to get me, and I go, whoop, and I trick him like this, then in most cases, he'll still have his hand on me. So put your hand on me. And then we go, all right, who's won in this case? Who has won? So how do we test to see who the winner is? Who can make the other person have to take a step? Okay, come back in here. Can you make me take a step? No, right? So that's the test. If he can make me take a step, and I cannot make him take a step, he won. If both of us have to take a step, neither one won. If neither one have to take a step, neither one won. Do you understand? The goal is to make you have to take that adjustment step. That is the goal. The goal is to force that adjustment step. Does everybody understand what I mean?
But don't push them and force them to step.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if you just do that, you haven't created a situation for yourself. But if I do this, see how I'm on that edge? So now I know that, all right, when you go to make your move, okay. So yeah, of course, if we're going fast, let's do that and you step. Okay, that could have been a thing. But because we didn't stop there, we didn't figure it out. If we don't know, did I actually get him or not? Or was he just moving backwards at the time? So this is a drill. This is not the fight. This is a drill. The drill is eliminating a whole bunch of reality to make this focus on getting that hand out there, like tag, you're it. That's why it's called ninja tag. Tag, you're it. And did I get that structure broken enough? If I break the structure too much, right off the get-go, so if Dan's standing over here, and I go, okay, that's too much. He can adjust immediately. But if he's here and I go, whoop, See, right now, I caught him at that point where he's like, and now he has to take a step. Does it make sense? Good. Let's do this ninja tag drill. Okay, try that. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so I'm not trying to teach this ninja tag drill. You can look at the old videos to find that. So what we want to do now is move on to the Mutadori tag. So now, again, same idea. Gary's back there, and he's got one goal. So come over this way just a bit, right? Yeah, back up. Back up. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So just what we need to have is enough distance so that as I'm coming in, there's momentum. The reason for this, I'm just going to say it clearly and quickly. He cannot wait for me to come in. I'll crush him every time. He cannot try to jig left or jig right. I'll crush him every time. His only chance of surviving getting hit by this is to come in on me. It's his only chance. He cannot wait for me to get close and see what I'm going to do. I'll kill him every time. That's why I said there's momentum here. So it looks like this. I wasn't terrible, but you understand, right? He still had that pause at the beginning. He's like, whew. So we have these habits of wait and see. And many martial arts teach the same habit. Wait and see. See what a setup it is, and then do your cool counterattack. Nah, not going to happen. Okay? Right from here, it's just boom. Okay? It's just too fast and it's on there. And if you have to be going like, to cut, you're already getting hit. Okay? So this is very, very fast. You got to figure out that he's got to move. As soon as he thinks I'm moving in, he's got to be crushing towards me. So it's got to be like, right? So it's not. So yeah. So you can't dive in on me,
Right.
but you've got to be coming in. So you've got to set the tone of how fast and where I think you're going to be as a target. You have to make me believe that target is coming in.
Whether I go in or out.
Yeah, that's right. And so you can't go left or right. There's no way you're going to get out of this pathway. So you have to go in. All right? So let's do this Mutadori tag now. Okay, Mutadori tag. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of stuff in here. It's basically this. First, just get hit. Don't stand there and get hit. Do not try to come in slowly and get hit. That is worse than nothing. It's negative because all that does is reinforce your incredibly terrible habits. Okay? Instead, Hiromi's over here. She's got the stick. I want you to practice doing this. Now remember, Hiromi's coming at me to try and win. She's trying to hit me with the stick. Okay? So what I want to do is, as soon as so just wait a minute. Let me finish speaking, and then I'll do this, and that's your signal that you can come in at any time. Okay? She's trying to get me. I'm trying to get her. Remember the tag thing? The ninja tag? Boom. I'm trying to get her back on her heels. I want to be able to do the same thing now, except that I don't need to push her back on her heels because she's got a sword or a stick and she'll smash me. I want to get shoulder control. So just in slow motion, I'm coming forward. I want to get this. Now, you will not look like I just looked right now. You will not look like this. I just want to say, I want to get this. I want to get my hand on that scapula. This one, scapula, really, really hard to do, but that is a thing. So it's going to be this scapula or that scapula. You'll figure it out. You can figure it out. But because I want you to actually get hit first, so now we're doing the real thing, I want you to go, see how she got to hit me? But I'm just going slow enough to hit. I made sure she hit me, and I just put my hand to her shoulder. Remember the training last night? That kind of thing. Ready? So come in here, and I just want to, see, she's going to hit me. So I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So you can start to play with that. So let's play with that. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Okay. All right. So what are you noticing? How about you, Eric? What'd you notice?
I noticed there's like this space where the sword person has the right moment to cut, and if I take that moment from him, it's kind of hard to put into words.
No, that's good.
Then I get this before and I go past that moment, that space moment where you can get that major
Yes.
nail with this section.
That's right. That's what we're looking for, is to do that. So basically, when is the moment that entering? And you can, it's the same thing in baseball, right? It's the pitch is coming, and it's coming across the plate. And your goal as the batter is to hit it. The goal as a pitcher is to make them miss it. This is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just that you are the batter, you are the pitcher, you are the ball. You understand? You're all of them. So you have to be that as you go. Be the ball, right? So when you're doing this, because I made you just get hit, because you're just getting hit, then you stop looking at the sword and you start looking at their position where they are. So this is analogous to, there's an aircraft carrier, it's got planes that fly around. Instead of you thinking about, how do I dodge all the planes and all the bullets and all the bombs, how do I sink the aircraft carrier before it launches those things? Much simpler, okay? So this is how do I get control of the dude who will be swinging the sword? Not how do I dodge the sword? Not how do I not get cut by the knife? How do I control the knife wielder? You see the difference in mentality? This is what we're trying to get to, is that control level, not the dodging level. And this is an important thing, as Hatsumi Sensei talked about yokanai. Again, it's translated by almost everyone as don't try to evade the sword. Don't dodge the sword. Don't avoid the sword. Well, you have to avoid the sword. But the correct translation is don't dodge. Dodging means you have to actually get up there where it can get you and then try and get out of the way of the thing. That's too late. You'll die every time, okay? But to avoid the sword, you just take a different path. So what I'm teaching you with this, I'm not teaching you. I created a situation where you can learn. You're learning how to, as you get closer, discover where is the path that I can actually take, like you just said, Eric, to get control of them so the sword doesn't cut me. That's what we're doing. And you can't discover that if you're flinching out of the way of sword attacks. If you get comfortable with these pool noodles getting hit, you're just like, oh, you're like, yeah, got you. And then when we start to put in like, all right, now I'm going to show you a little piece that will help give you a little more safety, which I'm going to do right now. Looks like this. Hiromi, can you grab a sword? Okay. As Hiromi comes in, what I'm going to be doing is going to this side. See, I'm going to that side, going to the opposite side of the stick with my body. Now, Hiromi, come stand in front of the cameras right here, right? So just stand in front of the cameras. Now, walk towards me and stop, okay? So see this right here. So here's my hands. As I come towards Hiromi, let me start back here. I'm going to be coming like this. So it looks like I'm coming straight in. Now this last step does this.
Oh my God.
And puts me here, okay?
He disappeared.
So you see how I'm taking it's a shihodori line. My right hand will be coming to the shoulder. My left hand will be coming to control wherever this is. So as she steps forward, raise it up to swing it at me, right? So as she comes forward to get me, right? It goes, boom. See what this is? So this is coming here. This is going to be putting this pressure on here because she wants to rotate a bit like this to get me. This stops that rotation. This is here. So now when she goes to cut, it goes, ooh. So this comes through here. So I just, remember what I said about totoku? So step out of the way. So I go. And this creates this shield that deflects it over here. Now, what's unnatural about what I just showed you is I'm already in this position. I won't actually already be in this position. It will be, boom, it gets hit now, and then my leg comes through after the sword's already passed. You can't, yeah, the hand, as I'm going through, as I'm coming in, it goes, boom, boom. So this hits before this foot touches down. When I teach slow, as anyone teaches slow, I'm already staying in this position. So then people see that and go, I have to be in that position and then deflect it. And you're like, Rob, the sword keeps hitting me in the leg. Yes, because you're stopped. But it won't really be that way.
Slingshot. So his top go fast.
Yeah, that's right. So it's the totoku. So I'm actually coming in here and I'm going here, boom, and it ends up just like this. So you see that shape ends up there, just ends up like that. So it shoots out like this first, boom, gets his shoulder, comes through, boom, and now I have this opposite shoulder. So as she does this again, as she comes to, you can just hold it normal, right? As she comes in, it goes, boom. Now, it's still awkward and unnatural because she's like got to stop to try and put this long time in here that doesn't really exist. She's going to be going, whoom. So I'm going, so the width is, we talked about this in past seminars, if you're wearing a wristband, that's what you're going to use to go towards the elbow. So if she's doing that, and you can see, like, see how the elbow, my elbow's, like, you can see the setup starting to come like this. So she may be up high first. She may be looking like this, in which case my wrist is going to set on top of her elbow here. And start swinging towards me, hang on. So swing it towards me high. See this comes here, now bring it back, swing it towards me low. You see, at this last moment, as she's turning, I'm also adjusting and matching up with her, okay? You won't know that until you're just right on top of it. That's why you already have to be controlling the space that she can move through. You already have to be controlling that. Does it make sense? Good. So let's go back to this drill, and let's play with that and put this little totoku in here. You guys realize we're transitioning from 0 to 1, or from freedom to control, and then that 1 is where we put the totoku in, which is what gets us to that first contact, and then from 1 to 2, which is contact to control. So freedom to contact, contact to control. But first we got to, right now we're discovering freedom to contact, okay? Let's try that. GoPro, stop recording. All right. So I'm watching on the screen here a bit. So one of the fundamental pieces we need to have is that fill in the blank. Remember the fill in the blank drill that we did a lot? So I'm going to have Hiromi just hold this. Hiromi, that's fine, right? So all I want Hiromi to do is as she comes towards me, she's going to go like that. And she's going to be holding it here. She's going to come forward and just like that, right? So what's happening? So I'm taking this hand out of it. All I'm doing is focusing on this hand. See how this hand is shooting up to here? I want, if you're having trouble doing this, I want you to practice this. So it looks like, now, get out of the way. You see what my body looks like? You see how extended I am. I want you to practice shooting into that, because what I want to do, one more time, come from here, it's fine. Okay? When she's coming in, I want to be able to catch this. Now push against my hand. I want to be able to catch this back here. Again, we will not be catching that hand. We will not be catching that. We will not be trying to catch that. But I want us to practice being tag, just like we do with ninja tag. Okay, this is Mutadori tag, and the Mutadori tag goes, whoop. So I'm getting that back there, so that you're getting used to fill in the blank. Okay? Then you start to read it. So when you guys are coming, you're starting to read it. So if you're the sword swinger, hold the sword in front of you. Don't go like this. Don't make it unnatural. Just go, boom. So if I were to punch, be like, see that little bit of a chambering to get more power behind it? Just that. Not none of that. Just see that little thing right there? That's a little telegraph. So you start to look for telegraphs. Then as we get better, we start to take the telegraphs out, right? And then they become more and more subtle, more and more subtle. That's not for today. That's for next year, okay? For today, as she's coming in, like I'm going to do this to Hiromi, okay? I'm looking at this. I'm going to be like, okay? And you can't tell from there, but there's that moment of coming up, it's like, that fear. And everyone has that fear, because they know they're about to get hit by the stick, right? That's the moment we're looking for, and because we're using pool noodles, it's totally cool to get hit by the stick, all right? So let's try that drill, and the fill in the blank drill, where as they're coming in, they're like, ooh, right there is when you're just shooting in to get that, which means you've got to already be moving forward with forward momentum. Okay? Good. Change partners and try that. GoPro, stop recording. So Jason's like, and it's the same thing everyone asks you, right? So he let me stand here, right? Just hold the sword. Just stand right there. Just hold. Just stand there. So his question is, so as you're going, are you kind of like in this area, and then a little bit off the side? I'm like, yeah. You guys all know what it is, right? So we have the thing called the Shihodori lines. Shihodori, it's this X that appears between us. So it's actually happening here. So if I could draw a line from my hip, if there's like a laser pointer that went from this hip across over there, it would be like where Jim is at. It would cross over, and then this one would cross over. So we'd have a long, thin X between us. That's the line. So don't move, Hiromi. That's the line that my hip needs to go. So it's this. That's the line. See how that works? But when I'm going towards her, from here, watch. It looks like I'm going straight, doesn't it? Like I'm going straight at her. So now I'm going to take steps and show you this. It goes.
Straight. Straight. Still straight.
Right? So now, see how my head is forward here? Now, I'm just going to go this side because the stick is in the way. It's okay. I'm going to go.
Oh my God, head was straight.
See where my hip goes?
But hip is side.
But for all the movement forward, it looks like this. Cha, 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 cha. See what that looks like? So when do I do the shift?
When you step.
It's that last piece. So again, this is basic. I mean, if you were ever in Hombu at a Soke class in the last decade, you saw this. You probably did not recognize it, but you saw this. So Soke would come out and he would go. Now, watch this again. Okay, slow, so everyone can see this. Stop. See, I'm tilted and leaning. Come around this way. Soke would go. So you see I'm here, and as he goes to cut, go ahead. And then he would often do this. Watch. Soke would go. And you would see this exact thing over and over, where he'd walk past the guy. And people are like, oh, that's just Soke being weird, Soke. It's like, but I said, I'm going to mimic that. I'm going to mimic that because I don't know why he's doing that. That just looks weird. But I'm going to mimic it. So I'm going to be here. And then you start to go like, wait a minute. He's illustrating that inertia and momentum is going along this pathway. And so he's exaggerating by continuing to walk past the guy to let you know, like, that's where your momentum and energy is going, is through that. So he set it up with this, hit me here, and then, but he doesn't stop. He doesn't go like, he's just walking. Here it is, here it's not. And you're just going along this line. And then he would oftentimes, like, say he had a sword. So go back into your sword cutting position as you come to cut me. So Soke would be like, boom, wham, right? He would do something like that. So why? Because like, oh, okay, so there's stuff happening, this control as you get the guys back, as you get the guys back. Huh, how about that? So what are we trying to do right now? Hiromi, can you come at me and get me a minute? We're trying to do this. Oh, sure. See this right here? So in reality, her momentum is going to make her go here, right? But if I were Soke and this was Bujinkan, Hombu, she'd stop here and I would go, got the back. Understand? But because this is reality and not Hombu, she's actually going to come here. Got the back. Does that make sense? So now that we know what we're looking for, let's do this drill again, change partners, and try to capture that thing. Just put it all together now, okay? GoPro, stop recording. All right, guys, let's just do this. I want us to become Budo detectives, martial art detectives. I want everyone to be able to look at a thing and be like, oh, she died because of this. So your forensic pathology the pathology of your pathetic martial arts skills, right? Patheticology. So, you two guys go first. And everyone is looking to not criticize, to forensic analysis. Like, okay, what went wrong? Because you got to be able to recognize it to be able to start to put it in your system to correct it. So go ahead. Okay, how was it? Anything? Anyone?
It was fast.
It was fast. So it was difficult to read that one, wasn't it? So you can also give critique on the attack.
So start being a little more clear with your technique. Start finding, oh, I get it.
I'm trying to be right-handed, so it's
Do left-handed, it's fine. Anybody? Yes, Dan.
You're slowing it down and chopping instead of just throwing it.
Yeah, so Gary's trying to not hit her. Gary's trying to be a kind uke to make her look better than what it is at the moment. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but go sideways like this, guys, so that people on the camera can see, okay? Yeah. Okay, so Gary's getting a little better. Now what's happening? What? Hiromi was waiting. Okay? Right, so this is why trying to be a kind uke is evil. It's like socialism. We'll just collect all the money and give it to everyone equally. Except that now those people don't actually understand what they need to do to become successful in all aspects of life, much less getting food. So if you try to cheat her and bring the level down so she feels successful, even though she's not, you're stealing from her the opportunity to actually become successful. So that's better. Okay, now switch. All right, good, bad, what? What do we notice?
I know I flinched.
What?
I know I flinched.
He went to the right. He went to the right. So there was a flinch. You saw that body posture stop. Good. It's getting better. So let me show you something that Hiromi did and you're doing. Okay, just I'm gonna take your part. So Hiromi's coming in. You guys on? You hear my feet? It's like before you're taking off.
Me, I'm trying to not be red for a standard number of paces.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do not want to make this the previous seminar. We already did the previous seminar, but you are going to have to, in your own practice, drill the shit out of this. Hiromi, you're going to draw the sword cut, okay? You just have to practice doing this. Am I doing any weird footworking thing? No. What am I doing? I'm learning to read where this is going to be. Do you understand? You just have to drill this. You just have to drill this. It's like riding a bike. You're just going to have to get on the bike. You can be like, man, I watched 175 YouTube videos about riding a bike. Yay. You still can't ride a bike. Get on the damn bike. So same thing with this. You are just going to have to drill this. So Jamie, you and Gary, you're going to have to drill this. And it will take no time at all before you're like, oh, I don't have to go to do this thing. You just walk into it. Okay? Cool. So learning to see these pieces. Learning to see these pieces. I can teach you to be a patheticology forensic martial artist. Okay? So let's change drills. Now we're going to get into we got the knives, the foam pool noodle knives. If not, we'll cut some up. And we're just going to start with the standing in the danger zone drill, where you're just getting cut. So Hiromi's going to demonstrate. It looks like this. Now you got to move, and I'm going to start adding in this. No arms. You're just getting cut. You can put your arms up like that. Just let me cut you. You see what I'm doing with my hand is I'm keeping her at the proper distance for me to have optimal knifing. Okay, what she wants to do is change that distance. She's not trying to not get cut. She just wants to be like, okay? All right? So that's the drill. Let's try that. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, next. Now, steering wheels. Put your steering wheels in. So Gary's going to come cut me, and I'm still trying to get cut, but I'm just having steering wheels. So as his cuts go, he can go high, low. See how they're just in the way? See how they're just in the way? You see what I'm doing? See, I'm just putting the steering wheels in the way, and he's like, okay, now I got to use arms and stuff like that. And notice I'm touching shoulders, there's face, right? You see how these things are in here? But I just got my steering wheel. So I've just put an obstacle, well, two, in the space between us. I'm still not trying to avoid the cut. I'm letting him cut me. But now he's like, I got to go around these things. He may even be trying to cut my arm. That's okay. It's all okay. And all I'm trying to do is just like, see, he pushes me back. That's good. He'll push me back again through. Then I just come right back into it. Right? See what I'm saying? So that's the next phase of this drill. Steering wheel. Change partners. GoPro, stop recording. Okay. So now that we've done this level, so you need 10,000 cuts, right? It's really more like, a million cuts. 10,000 is just not nearly about it. But while we're doing this, how'd you focus on your steering wheel position? Okay? So while you're focused on your steering wheel position, you're just getting cut. And if you focus on your steering wheel position, your brain can't focus on trying to not get cut. So you're starting to get used to being in this space, even though the knife is cutting. So I can start to let you focus on the drills. If I taught you drills like how to do a cool knife thing, you will never, ever do the knife thing, because you still have the flinch reflex of trying to not get cut. So you'd be like, and you just never, you'll never do your stuff. You just won't. So this way, we're getting ourselves accustomed to the knife thing happening. And right now we're using pool noodles because they cause no damage. I mean, if you got some pool noodle foam in your eye, that is irritating, right? But otherwise, they don't cause damage. So we can do this and level up. And once we get competent at stuff, then we can start to use more and more knife-shaped training tools. Okay, not right now, and not for a while. Okay, we want to keep it like this. So now we want to start to add in some pieces. So Gary, you got a knife. Okay, so Gary's doing his thing, and I'm in here, right? And he starts to add this in. Now I'm like, okay, I've been touching, put these things in here. I've been finding these shoulder control points, get in the face. And if he like sweeps my arm out of the way, I automatically come right back in, right? And as I come back in, I start getting stuff, right? So he does this, boom, sweeps, good, boom, boom. So I'm still, notice I'm moving in, right? Getting in, boom. See, I'm starting to control this. And he's touching me with the knife over and over again. And now, as he's going low, he starts to go high. See, and I make it go back low because right here, it's actually, boom, see how? Now, I did two things. This happened to be here, right? So, maybe this is a good angle. I'm here. As it goes high, this hand gets the shoulder back here. This hand comes in like this. And then, of course, he can't get it, so what does he do next? He goes there. So I've created a pattern. So he's low, goes high, goes low. See what that looks like? So now I'm starting to add in. He's going to go from low to high. You block it. You catch this right here. As he goes low again, you take the totoku goes, watch this, it's up high, and it goes. See, I'm right back on scapula. This arm is over here. And again, he's going to cut back through, and I'm going to go and let him cut me because I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to get this little skill set right here of cut, cut, high, low, cut. See what that looks like? And then you would do it on, try to put it in his right hand, left hand, whatever. Okay? So let's do this drill. You're getting cut. Change partners. GoPro, stop recording. All right, so what are you discovering now? Are you starting to find something in the midst of this turmoil? So again, this is surfing the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. So there's a hurricane. You're in the crappy part of it that's, destroying everything.
I have successes and I have failures, and I recognize when I'm failing. I don't always know what I did exactly wrong, but I know I did something wrong.
So as we're doing this, did you start to discover, like, so if Hiromi's with me here and she's cutting at me, again, my beginning piece is just like, I'm okay. I'm letting her cut my torso. You notice that? And then as she starts to go up high, I stop that. Do you see it? You see, I'm starting to put in one little piece of no, right? One little piece of no. And notice I keep moving in. I just keep moving in. Come back this way so we stay on the camera. Okay. Move in. Get a little shoulder control. Move. Oh, look at that. How about that? Okay. So give it to Gary. So I have a different body. Left hand, it's fine. Okay. I'm here. So first, I want everyone just to get comfortable being here. And then we go. See how he's touching me? It's like, okay. So he can still touch me. Can he generate power? That's hard. Okay, good. Don't hang on to it forever. Just a thing to notice. Then I'm here again. Boop. Boop. Doing, doing. See that little pass? Mm-hmm. Okay. You're going to start to find out when you can do these passes. Did you catch that one? Here, come from the side, right? So again, he's doing his thing. His arm like this. Boom. Okay. When he goes high, there's the pass. Okay? That's just one. That's not everything. It's just one. Just one. Can you guys start to get that pass happening? Good. Now, I want you still to maintain your discipline. And we're going to start to do this. Cut me. It's cutting, cutting. Use both hands. Get your hands on it. Okay, he's cutting. Okay. There's a block up top. Now, see how I just did this motion? At some point, I want you to put that in for the low. So he's here. Notice all I do is like.
Yeah, that's the one I was sucking at.
So it requires a little bit of two hands at the beginning. So when we're here, my hands are like that. I get the shoulder. See this? As he goes to cut me, I let this off. You see that moment? That's what I say. You can't hold the shoulder. You're not going to be like, ha, ha, ha. You can't move. It's just, boop. Mm-hmm. Feel that moment? Mm-hmm. See his back? Then, and let's see how close I am, right? And then I'm here. See, I put the target in again. Now watch. I'm going to let it go because he's falling there. So if I just do this, okay, one more time. Go ahead, get me. See what that looks like? We've talked about this before. You won't be able to do that if you're trying to not get cut. So I don't really care if I get cut. So use both hands, be a little more dynamic. I'm here. Room. Room. See how it's touched me a little bit? So now I'm like, good. I'm like trying to let it touch me. Then I'm like, there's a little bit. No touch. Touch. No, there we go. No touch. You see what I'm saying? It starts to become, how much pressure do you feel from me?
No.
Right? There's no pressure because I'm in there. There is pressure, but it's so little. If I do too much,
Not continuous anything.
Oh, that's another piece. That's that whole skipping stones idea we talked about years ago, right? So,
Vacations in your attention.
okay, so what you're trying to do now is, again, you got the steering wheel here, and he's cutting you, he's cutting you, he's cutting you, he's cutting you, and you go, boop, and now let it go. I exaggerated. So you don't have to pull your foot back. That's the moment. So he's cut, boom, boom, boom. See what that moment was? The moment where he cuts here, cut back across, cut me now, That moment. That moment. That hand's there. This is here. I pulled it out of the way so you can see the knife. So just leave it here. So it's just catching. So I'm here. It just catches a moment. He steps. I go boom. And try to get back to here. Okay? All right? Try that. GoPro, stop recording. Okay. GoPro. No, it's already recorded. Good. All right. So he's got a question. So just what's your question?
The question is, what happens when the opponent viciously attacks the point of obstruction that you create?
So you guys know that we're doing, let me just borrow Gary for a second to see this. We're doing this, right? So Gary's cutting, blah, 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 and then I do this, okay? That was the point of obstruction that he's talking about. So his question is, what happens if, in that moment, Gary tries to shove my hand backwards, right?
Trying to kill you, not the hand.
Well, yeah. So Gary just said, but I'm trying to cut you. Right? Yeah. So that's the first answer is, it will never happen, because his reaction and timing can never be like, there's a hand, boom, got to push it out of the way. That's never a thing. So what does it go? It's going boom, boom, boom. See, none of those things that I did there are there. But what happens is this. Stand here. Okay. We're at a dead stop. I'm talking about some position because I'm teaching. So I go, all right, got this right here. Okay. And then his question is, well, what if the guy just fights it? So fight it with your shoulder down, just push my hand out of the way. Okay. So do that. So should I just go and fight him? No. So as he does it, knock out my hands. Okay. But that question only arises, because you're going so slow that, remember Scooby-Doo? Yes.
Do you mean, like, if the guy's hand is on me and then I destroy his arm? Is that what you're talking about? Like cutting into the arm? Or what exactly do you mean by a vicious attack? The arm, just so I understand. What that means.
To directly attack the point that he's putting you, like the control point that he has.
So like when it's touching to like
Right, because
hit
Rob
that or
has said,
slow
like,
it off or something.
Rob has always said, well, he'll have to readjust. I say, fuck that, just attack the point that's being obstructed.
So that's a readjustment.
Okay.
That because you see when you were here and you were like fuck that, in the F to the U is a readjustment, right? Yeah, so that's part of the pieces. It's like, yes, you're right. Like, and a lot of the times, like when I had a dojo, guys would come fight.
Right.
And so a lot of times, what would happen is that's the kind of readjustment they make, is they wanted to fight. So they go, in which case I would send them wherever else, right? But if we're training, usually the readjustment is something like, let me get a better position under which to attack. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You're right, but it's still a shift. It's the same move.
So the answer is, they will either aggressively move towards it or aggressively move away from it. That's your answer. It's a flinch reflex. So again, he's either going to try and push it, or he's going to take a step and adjust. And guess what the real answer will be?
It's whatever direction you give them an opening to.
So here's what will determine it. Human beings are energy-conserving animals. He is going to choose the path of least energetic output. Now, when you're standing there, you think, well, I would just do this. But in reality, you're like, I can much quicker just step here and punch. There's just a whole lot more. Whereas if I go one, then I've got to fix this, come back in and do this. So as Gary's walking towards me, and I go boom, there's no moment in there where his nervous system says, all right, I've got to stop moving this attack towards him and go back in like that, because that's so energy intensive. He's just never going to occur to him to do that.
Set me with any tension.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to fight.
So another way of thinking about it is like, if I were doing this, is he going to try to muscle back out of that?
Or even a punch to the face, because it's the same thing. Like, if you're hitting someone and they're like, they're at that moment, they've got to catch themselves. They've got to, right? They're not going to be like, your punch means nothing. Like it's,
Does that make sense? So the answers on this are like, it's a flinch reflex, so they're going to move towards it or away from it. And the answer is going to almost always be away from it because of the energy output required and the length of time. Now again, when we're standing here discussing stuff, when we bring our logical brain into it, we can come up with all kinds of answers that are wrong. We can make stuff up. That's why I say we enter the world of illusion. Okay? So again, if I throw the ball to you, if the ball is alive, if I throw you, if I pick you up and throw you, at no point in that arc of toss can you decide to go back the other way. No point can you decide to go back the other way. So as things are in motion, this is why there's a law based upon this, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. For a reason. Okay? Unless acted upon by an outside force. Well, if Gary goes to just go stab me a minute, right? And I go, boom. There is no outside force coming to save him at that point. And because he's in the air, so he's like, he doesn't have any gravity to use, to resist. His feet aren't touching the ground. So in that moment, he cannot reset. But let's just say that in our world's laws of physics changed, and it was possible. Like Dan said, he's still doing an adjustment. So if Gary goes to cut me, and I go, and then Gary just shoved my hand back out of the way. Okay. You understand? That's all the answer is. And what we're training to do here right now is not lock someone up, put a cool move on. We're just doing this. Cut me. See how I'm making it look stupid? Because that's all we're trying to do. Is see how that shoulder keeps coming to my hand? But I can recognize that because I don't care if he cuts me. See that? See that? So I'm going to do this blindfolded. There's it. There's that. There's that. There's that. Boom. 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 Why? Because I know where it's at.
It's just weird.
Right? I don't even have to see. I just know where it is. Right? So you're going to understand, right? And of course you say, well, if that was a real knife fight, you'd be getting cut. Sure. And in a real knife fight, I'm not just doing this beginner level drill. This is a beginner level drill. Okay? If Gary goes to cut me, see what that looks like? I have a little bit more movement. So use both hands, right? Shoot. Understand? So that I'm going to do much more of that, and then add in, whatever breaky things. Make sense? Break time. Let's take an hour and just 45 minutes to an hour. We'll see, but basically an hour, and let this seep into our nervous system. Okay? GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so we're gonna. One of the things I'm doing, we're gonna try and each session we try and start fast. And then we can work our way back down. So I talked about this training methodology. So what is wrong with Hombush training methodology? Here's the problem. They're teaching. So when you're teaching, it's like, okay, you need to say Hiromi does a punch, okay? And here's my point. Just do punch, all right? So it gets you right there. I want to show that you need to come here, okay? So I'll do like this, okay? So punch, and you can come here, and I'll just do this. And so I've got to be here because this is a good place to be. So how do I get everyone to do it? I'm like, okay. So punch, so 1, 2, you're like, okay, so what did I just do there? So like this. So now, because I need to teach this position, and then I have her give me this punch, then I start back engineering what I just did for this completely artificial situation, right? And then I'm like, well, you step here, then you step here, you're covered here, okay? You all got that? So she does it again, and I just go, so you're here. And then I go, so now you just take control. So I go like this, then I go like this, come around here, and I do like this, and right? So I get to do all this stuff while they're doing nothing, right? Why? Because I got to teach all these pieces. And so I'm just connecting them together because I'm pretty good and I can connect them together. And then you're like, people are like, oh, so this is how we have to train. We have to like do one piece, stop, check it all out, do the next piece, stop, check it all out, because that's how you have to teach. Even me, when I'm like, okay, well, freeze, no, got to do it again. Catch that, there's the moment, right? There's the moment. See that moment? Good. Now we got, right? So they got to do it. Here's the other problem. You got a whole group of people. Now, here, there's much more evenness. Got a lot of years of experience in pretty much everyone around the room. One new guy, right? Then in Hombu, you've got people with 35 years of experience and people with 35 minutes of experience, all in the same class. Well, if I was going to teach a Spanish class to that level of skill range, what would that class look like? Well, you just hola, me llamo, saying and the people would be like, oh, but then the older people will be like, this is the class, this is what we teach, this is the Spanish class, so they go like, hola, me llamo, yes, and this is 35 years. They just lower their skills down. They just lower down, and they're like, okay, I'm teaching all my students like that too. You see what happens? That's the problem. So we want to try and avoid that. Again, it's unavoidable in Hombu. It's just what it is. So we have to take it out and go, oh, right, now we're going to fix this. So one of the things is we got to go fast so that we can see what we're going to do when we go slow. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do the fill in the blank drill. We've done it before. So Gary's going to come up here. He's going to get against the wall. That wall's fine. That's fine. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to pin him to the wall. I'm pinning him to the wall. Okay? Now, because I want to break Gary out of the habit of hands in the butt, I want him to raise his hands up and put them in a useful place. This is a useful place. So again, if we're doing ninja, we're going to take the ninja blind angles, which is if my arm is here, his hand is here, so that my own arm blocks the angle of this attack, okay? So he's actually getting his fingers like right behind my elbow, called the elbow control point. So I'm here, and I'm in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as fast as possible, pull this back. And he wants to let his hands shoot to, well, at first, just my hands, right? So here, and go, boom. You see how fast he did that? It almost looks like we're connected, right? That was good. So we're standing here. Look how fast that is. Pretty crazy, right? Because he's starting to do some really good stuff here, which is the drill. So you see what the drill is, right? So Gary, wear your hands. Okay, now I'm going to do this slow so you can watch Gary again. And notice as he's doing that, he's using the wall as his brace and support, and letting his upper body come forward. Check out this kamae. This, by the way, is Hatsumi Sensei's Ichimanji. If he just takes one step, boom, there you go, Hatsumi Sensei Ichimanji. This guy is soke level kamae, all right? So let's do this fill in the blank wall drill, okay? You need some wall. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so now we need to look at a couple of pieces here. Gary's on the wall. Hiromi's pushing Gary. Okay, I'm gonna illustrate. So look at Gary's hand position. Top of Hiromi's arms or underneath? Underneath. So in essence, just stand up a minute, Hiromi. Stand up and put your hand on my chest right here. Okay. So see this right here? Now, just stand up and just put one hand on my chest right here. Okay. I want to punch her with my hand. Can you see it coming now? Yes. So what if I do this? Boom. See this angle right here? This is that magic 45-degree ninja angle. It's sitting right here. And when she starts to do something, it's going to go like this. Swing. See where it comes from? Go back to Gary. That's piece one. Notice she's also on this. So Gary's being plied into the wall. But it's a wall. So when Hiromi pulls her arm back, okay, notice, a lot of space here. Why? Why, Bobby? Why would you do it for the thing we were talking about earlier?
You don't want to be
Take these.
dead back.
Because no structure, no stability to deliver force. Okay? So Gary's bending forward here to move into it. If there was no wall behind Gary, he could achieve the same thing by taking a step back, right? But there is a wall, so he can't take a step back, which is good because that forces what we want to have happen, which is he's moving this top part of his body forward into the space. And look how much, let me do this so you can see. Watch how much he's moving forward into the space, too. Okay? Look, he's almost up to my hand. Now, I'm going to reverse it. Let Gary push me here a second, right? You can use left hand, that's fine. Right? Now, I'm going to do this slow so you can see. Don't punch. Just pull back, please. Okay? I want to show everybody this. See where that is? Hold it there, please. Hold it there. Now, I will have moved earlier, but I'm just going to move now so you can see. Watch what happens to him. Do you see what's happening to him? Now, when am I actually going to do it?
And the retraction.
Right? So check this out. So watch, don't pull back yet. Watch this. Can you guys see that? What did I just do? Maybe, but more importantly, I'm loading. I'm going, ooh. So even if it pushed me hard into the wall, now when he goes to pull this back, I'm spring loading. So just come up and push me on the wall and do the punch thing, right? See what that looks like? That I let him do the push. So you guys start to understand what's happening here? There's a whole bunch of stuff happening here. But one of the important things is this retraction. I'm using his retraction energy. So he's trying to hold me on the wall for a moment, and then a moment he's going to bounce off so that he can get this wind up. So he cannot generate equal force pushing me on the wall because there's a wall. Do you understand? He can't pull back and push equally unless, see, like we're standing here, like watch, I can go. So I can do that because there's no wall behind him. As soon as there's a wall, I'm going to go boom, off. I'm helping him do that. So when he's here pushing, pulls back. Notice I'm bringing this forward. Now, what most people in our martial art have learned to do is escape and evasion. Ninja stuff. Okay? Let me show you what that looks like. What's going to happen in real life here? Exactly. Right? Yeah. So we've learned, like, oh, there's pressure here. It's too strong. It's overwhelming. So I'm going to leave my shoulder back here, go and do that, and I'm going to do ichimanji. Okay? You're just going to eat it. Right? So what I'm showing you to do is, we're here, when he pulls it back, he goes, boom. So, right, you will, but you won't reset there because you already got your punch. So now, as you pull it back and punch, it's fine. So, just pull it back. I'm going to show you a little bit. There's two things. Remember, I have the steering wheel here, okay? That's one. And that's two. I got a whole bunch of redundant defense systems in place here. Does that make sense? So again, I got my steering wheel, just holding it here. Before I'm just going to go. You don't have to do this. He's just going to go over there because he's going to bounce off of this thing. So again, Jodanuke, remember I said this? Now watch. See my head? See my head? All right, see my head? Gary, come back into place, please. Put your hands on me. See where it goes. Pull that back. Now go ahead and punch me in the face. Try and go through my hands. Do you understand?
What did you do? No, I can't see it.
I'll just do this. So he can see my face. You can see my face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now just put your hand up. Right. Now just go ahead and punch me in the face. Do you understand? Just a bit. Yeah. I'm not going like this because then I didn't see it and it comes around and tags me in the eye, right? I'm going whoop. Yes.
Also, when you're not which it looks like he's doing, at least to me when I first saw this, is he's not like catching the punch coming in with the block. He's intersecting the flight path. So as the punch is coming in, because it has to travel between the two of them. Right. It has to travel in a certain path, right? So what he's actually doing is creating a shape that funnels. It's like the top of a funnel that funnels that punch into where it's going. So he's not like timing the turn. He's just moving in, and because of how this has to work, that's what's funneling the attacks into safety.
I'm creating guardrails. Yes. Okay? The guardrails don't move. The guardrail doesn't go, here's the car, smack, and hit the car. The guardrail is just there. And so the car has to stay in the lane, or it runs in the guardrail. What happens when it runs in the guardrail? It gets bumped back into the lane.
So it looks like, right, I'm punching in, but that's not it at all.
That's right.
Like not even close.
That's right.
It's more like,
You're not necessarily trying to stop his projection.
I'm not. I just know that it has to go through this space.
So you're giving it
and
with the door the whole way.
look where I would end up. So if So if he's just aiming at my face,
Right.
like,
It doesn't matter if it goes in or out. As long as you're
I'm just totoku. Exactly. As long as your totoku is good. So it's like Dan said, you have to have the discipline to hold the steering wheel properly. Not too much tension, just hold the steering wheel. And that's the discipline. Then the steering wheel moves, you adjust to where the thing is going. But I mean, come on. This is not super complicated movement. You understand? It's like, right? So Gary could so get up here a minute, right? So as we do this, see the fear? But I was still pretty good, even with the fear. But look, hold your arm where it was. He was there, and right now Gary's like, but look what he did to my body. Why? Because do that again, I'm gonna go a little bit slower. So excuse me, I went boom, and I went, and see right there, Gary chased me, right? And he got scared and went like that. But then he did this, right? And so it just goes, see how it misses? Because, don't put your hand up a minute. No, don't do anything. Now put your hand up. Now fix your arm better. Elbow down.
And he's also, Gary's head is straight up, but when we're doing this,
Yeah, there's other stuff going on, right? It's three-dimensional. So one of the things that I want you guys to get, he just did it, reminded me of. This is no good. See this elbow popping out to the side? You got to get rid of that. Keep that elbow down. Okay? It's like if you're hammering. You don't hammer like this. How uncomfortable and tiring would that be? You're like, dunk, dunk. It's this. So it's the same thing. We're here. When you're holding the steering wheel, you don't hold the steering wheel with your elbows pointing out to the side. Not unless you want to fatigue really, really fast. Okay? So when I'm in here with this, and Gary's holding the position on me, if you notice I'm here, I'm also going to go to the top of the arm. That's why I'm here, so I can go to the top. If you're here, you're not getting over the top of the arms. We do practice this too, so pull back. We do have this. See how this starts to take this up like that? We do have that. That's just suboptimal. This is optimal. So as he pulls back, I'm going. And this is what this, I don't know if the camera can see this here, but it's been in all the other videos, so it's okay. As Gary's pulling this back, you see where I am? But here's what's cool. As Gary pulls his back, no, don't punch. Just pull it back. Okay? Can you see my face clearly?
Yeah.
Clearly. Mm-hmm. Do you feel me stopping you anyway? Mm-mm. No. But what I've done is I've actually gone here. So you're like, I'm going to punch you, so go ahead and punch me in the face. Do you start to understand? The Kyojitsu that's built right into this. It's the illusion, because my face is right here. Okay, so go ahead and punch me with the right hand. Right? Right? That's what it is. It's right there. So let's try this again. And we're trying to get these things in there. We're trying to get our nervous system to be like, ugh, and then, ugh. See this little bit sideways thing? And then you're like, oh yeah, Rob said that at the beginning that this was totoku. Okay, let's try that. GoPro, stop recording. Remedial drill real quick for everybody. Line up right here. Just line up right here real quick. Just line up. You can stay here. Line up over there. Line up. Good. All right, so, Gary, you can stand over there, it's fine. Hiromi's gonna raise her hand up. All I want you to do is I want you guys to be like this. Take one hand, it's gonna be your right hand in this case, and you're just gonna go and point at Hiromi's hand. Okay, now, I want you to pretend that you're an Old West gunslinger, and the first person to shoot wins. Okay? How many of you died? Okay? Nice. So how many of you feel like you're moving on time? Okay, there's a lot of lackadaisicalness. Okay, I want to show you something. Okay, I'm going to raise my hand. Hiromi's going to do this, okay? Do you see the time lag? How much time lag is there? It's minuscule, right? Now, Hiromi, raise your hand. Wait a minute. I'm going to show you what I see. Raise your hand. That's death. You've just been shot like 4 times. Did you understand? So here's part of the problem, is when your hands are down here, you're just, duh. So now this, get your hands up. Now when she raises her hand, just shoot that thing out. Nice. Now some of you are starting to get it, okay? Some of you are still trying to brace your feet and body, so watch this. That's always going to be too late. Okay? The other people are doing this. Okay?
So we're not checking. We're not checking to see. So, like when Miss Hiromi points, okay, that's it, now let me get back. That's not what's happening. It's more like,
Yeah.
I'm meeting her.
Yeah,
we
that's
figure
right.
out at the same time where it is. Right? So if you look and you try to check, it's too slow.
Yeah. So, but man, you got to get this. This is all in the preparatory drill stuff, right? So, do it again. Good. Now, some of you are already starting to do it. Some of you have done this drill a number of times already. So, here's the next piece of this, right? When she raises her hand, it goes, you're already doing it? Then I want you to see this. Okay, so watch. See how my hand goes, and then it pulls my shoulder forward with me? Not this, not chamber, but like there's a string attached to it. So move your hand, and it pulls me out like that. That's what I want to see next. No, Jim, you're doing hips first. You did it correctly before. Just try and be as fast as you can. Boom, that's it. Yes. Don't try and do the movement. Just let it keep going. Yeah. Just let it keep going, Jim. Yes, that's it. Good. Yeah, see, good. The first time everyone was like, that was nice. Now, I want you to do the same thing. And it's going to be a 2-parter. So you're going to go, whoop, and then I want you to push it a little bit more and let your leg come in behind it. Okay? Now let's do this. I want to make it so you practice. Use your right arm, and I want you to step with your left foot. No, sorry, do not step. Fall and catch yourself with your left foot. Good, Jim. Good, Matt. Little late, Bobby. So, again, what do you guys think is starting to happen?
We're trying to move at the same time we're shooting the pin. We're trying to step.
Here's what I'm seeing now. See that? And that's just you being a human trying to cheat the drill, right? Don't do that. If you can't do it yet, don't move your foot. Just go, boom. And then go, and then fall. So what I'd rather see is the hand goes, whoop, and like an hour later, your foot falls into place. I would much rather see that than this. Because this is complete horseshit. It's just, you will die every single time. You will die against someone that's actually moving at speed. It will just be too late. Okay, you ready? Go, hit on me. So just right arm, and Mitch, don't move your feet. Right arm. So shoot her with your gun. Right arm. Your other right arm. No feet. Put your feet together. Stomp them together. Whoop. Now just shoot your right arm out. Whoop. That's what I want. Yes. Hey, Bobby, can you show me what it would look like if you drew a gun and pointed it? Good. How fast can you do that? Okay, now, that's what I want you to do with this. I want your hand to be here. Yes, that. Please come here. Please step out of the way of the camera, please. Please step out of the way of the camera. Bobby, come up here, please. Hiromi's going to raise her hand. Just turn sideways so the camera can see this because it's good. Go. That. Now, why can you do that so well?
Because that's the normal movement.
It is a normal movement, but more importantly, why? Huh? Because he spent a minute or two actually doing this motion to get a steel piece out of a non-steel piece to point it at a target. Okay? Do you understand? That's why. That's why. Because, and why does drawing a gun and getting on target look like that? Because it's the least effective way? No, because it's the most effective, efficient way to do it, which is why Special Forces, everyone, that's what they do. You don't see Special Forces doing this shit. Oh, but our martial art is so deadly and so battle-tested that it's not used by anyone else on the planet at any point in time. Because they're all dead, right? Yeah. So, again, what is taught? Gun is here, and see this? And if you're moving forward towards it, right? You're going forward. It's that. That's what we're going for. And that is totoku, guys. It's totoku. It's boom. See my totoku? It's right in there. Okay? So when we're doing this drill, I want to get this unified body movement that you're doing well now. And it's great because now you can take the skill that you already have and just plug and play right into all the martial art training that we do. Okay? So that's what we're going after is this kind of movement so that we can get it in there. So that, Gary, can you get on the wall here? Watch Gary's timing and his rhythm. It's really, really good. Boom. Look at that. It's instantaneous looking. Okay? Now, I can tell you 6 weeks ago, it was not. It was not. Because he'd gotten comfortable in life as a hair cutter, cutting hair, eating food, playing guitar, growing his beard. Mostly that, right? He shaved off his beard, he's like 10 times faster. Not saying you need to shave your beard, just saying. It worked for Gary, right? Okay? So what I'm saying, though, is he just started practicing this, and now his nervous system has gone click. In other words, it's not a muscle you got to build. It's not 20 pounds of fat you got to lose. It's just, I just got to do this thing. And turning that on. Turning it on. It's already there. Mitch already has it. Just got to turn it on. Okay? And the only way to turn it on, though, is you got to make sure that you don't keep screwing up your wiring by doing what, Bobby? What can't you keep doing? Anybody know? No? What can you not do if you want to get this new movement down?
Go slow. Yeah, go slow.
That's part of it. What's more important? So, why are you making mistakes? What is the mistake? What? You can't do what you already know how to do. You already know how to do this. Can't do it. You got to stop it. You got to not do it. You just have to not do that so that you can create the new neural pathway. Now, you're lucky. You spent time creating a neural pathway that already exists. So all we're going to do is just patch that over to this, and you got, oh, I already got it. That's pretty cool, right? So this is what we want to do. Now maybe you have a neural pathway from something else that you can switch this on. And everyone does. You just got to find it. And then stop doing this stuff. Stop doing that. Stop that. Maybe you can't stop it yourself. So you need some help. So if I wanted to stop Mitch from stepping, what could I do? What?
Tie his feet.
Tie his feet. Tie his feet. If I put his feet together, he can still cheat. But if I tie his feet up so he can't, he's not going to go, oh, and fall down. And then he doesn't have to think about it. His nervous system will go like, oh, can't move that. Just going to do this. And then you drill that, drill that, drill that, drill that. Does that make sense? So yeah, you got to figure this out. This is not my job to do all that for you. It's your job to do that. I'm just telling you what you need to do to get to the thing. But you got to figure out, like in your own personal idiosyncrasies, what you got to do. Because you're different than him. So it's real different, okay? So this is the fill in the blank drill. We're on the wall, pushing into the space. I need you guys to get that boom. So let's go back to the drill for just a minute, and then we're going to move into some more 1 to 2, 1 to 2. GoPro, stop recording. Let me talk about an important subject here. And it's a word I'm walking around and I've heard for like the last hour here now. And today's not the first time. Trust and faith. Trust and faith. So you're in this position, and I've put you in this goofy-ass position and asking you to do something that's obviously completely scary. Be pinned against the wall, have a guy pin you against the wall, pull back, and punch you in the face. And I'm asking you to not try and stop it. Okay? So while your brain says, sure, Rob can do it, he's a ninja wizard with incredible abilities who's trained 37 hours a day for 100 million years, okay? Rob can do it. But I can't do that. It just can't really be real. It's not, okay? It's going to require faith. Now, the question is, how do you train from the moment of complete incompetence up to competence? How do you do that?
You have to take the threat down enough so they can get comfortable.
That's all. That's all. Then you get enough repetitions in below your training threshold. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? There's a threshold of flinch, okay? So here's where we come in. We don't need a whole bunch of drills. We really don't. What we need is better ukes. So Jim, if you come here, you get on the wall, okay? I'm going to help Jim get this. Okay? Fix yourself. Is that correct? There you go. Ooh, that's good. Good. Now, just a little bit more extension here from your scapula. There. Ooh, that's pretty good. That feels weird. Nice. Now, am I getting anxious with him? Am I rushing him? No. Am I punching him in the face? No. What am I doing? I'm letting him get to the position. It's a little bit wrong, then I give him a moment to adjust it. Okay? Feedback. Lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. So that's good. So here's the thing. Now he's getting this. Okay? So now we're going to do that same thing. Now don't move. Don't move. Keep leaning into it. Keep leaning into my hand here. So when I go, oh, that's good. Just keep it there. Don't push me in, just keep it there. See how it's moved me off the track? Good. So this comes in. This would already be doing. Don't even worry about that. Right now you're focusing on one arm or the other. Okay? So I let him get that. So now he's like, okay, my position was correct. You felt that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, because he's still like, was it right? Was it not right? I'm not really sure. I'm going to close my eyes. so I can't see what his position is. I'm not going to drill him in the teeth. What I'm going to do is pull back really, really fast. And then I'm going to go, so I'm going to hit him like this. But I'm going to hit him in the mouth. Okay? You guys heard the little skin slide? What does that mean? It was correct. It means it was correct. Okay? It was incorrect a bit. Why? Yeah, so now are you scared? Are you shaking in your boots from this? Not from this, because this threat, I've taken this threat down. Do you understand how we got to train? This, unfortunately, or fortunately, this is what it requires. This is what it requires. It requires me to be your uke. And I'm being half facetious, half not. Okay? I know how to let him get the best that he's going to get in this moment. That's why I need to create a cadre of super ukes. And by super ukes, I mean people that are able to control the range of speed and pressure from 0 to 100 in both directions. Do you understand? Then we can all train at optimum levels and speed and get each other better. And then we'll invite people in whose reflexes are way better than ours, whose athletic ability is way better than ours. We'll still be able to dominate them. And they'll be like, this is great training. Okay? Do you understand how to train?
Yes.
Okay? Matt, do you understand how to train? This is what we have to do. This is the crux of our training, because you have to have faith. But you can't just have faith in something you don't know what it is. So now that you've done it, you're like, oh, okay, I've done it some. And then I could go faster and a little faster and a little faster, right? And that's what I would do. So we're training, and our training, if this was like, as you two guys and me and Jim were training together, we'd spend 90 minutes going through this stuff and just getting until we worked our way up to where it's like, boom, boom. And I don't have to hit hard. So watch this. He's so good now. Just do the same thing, man. Just do the same thing. Okay? Boom, boom. See how he stepped and tried to get away? Because he shit his pants. Because instead of trusting, he got scared.
Yep.
Why were you scared?
I don't know.
Because you thought I might punch you in the mouth, right?
Probably.
Okay? Well, that's got to be there, so. It's always a possibility. Right? So, yeah.
When you said you were training with it, you were searching for that spot, so you would do this over and over until you found the place that worked.
Well, that's it. So I tested all of them. Like I said, I've tested all the teachers, and I could feel where they had control or I had control. And then I could feel where, all right, I already know that they're taking control. Not gonna let that go. Well, soke, and this is what made it more difficult and why no one's getting it, is he always let you feel like you were in control. He didn't, like with Nagato. Nagato was like this, like, come here a minute, like, just do a punch. Nagato was like, you know what I'm saying? That was the feeling. You're just like, I'm done, right? But with Soke's like, as you go to punch, Soke's like, la, oh, like that, right? You're like, I think I can kill this guy. I know he's the grandmaster, but I'm pretty sure I could knock him out right now. That was the feeling with Soke all the time, right? And so I was like, all right. What am I looking for? So this is a separate segment. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, start recording. Filters of your training. What do I mean by that? Okay. So when you started, whatever, you get a book and you see some cool stuff in the magazine. Like, oh, I'm gonna try that. And your filter is, can I do this thing that looks like on a picture here? Then maybe you had a teacher, you went to a class, and someone did something, and your filter is just like huge and wide open, and whatever goes in, you just accept it. So your filter's got like this big, it's not even a filter. just a bucket, right? And then after a while, you start to develop questions. So your questions are filters. Your filters those holes are a little smaller. The information can get through. So for me, at the point I went to Japan, it was, all right, I'm going to train with the Shiteno, the 4 top teachers. And I'm going to accept what they teach. I'm going to do what they teach. So the filter was what they taught, what they thought was important, how they did it, how they taught, when I watched them, like what was their methodology, when they said, this is the way you do a thing, and this is an important idea, okay? I did that for each of those 4 guys, right? So I had these 4 filters. But I had this other filter down here. So after it went through those guys, and I could replicate it and duplicate it, I took that information and ran it through the filter of what Hatsumi Sensei was doing. Which, of necessity, you can imagine the information's getting smaller. So there's stuff that's coming from these 4 guys that has to get like, it doesn't make it through the filter. You guys understand what I'm saying? Yes. So now it gets down here. So then it gets down here and you think, well, that's the end. No. Then I'm like, okay, now we got to have a filter of, does this work against resisting people? Does this work when people don't think I'm a ninja master? Does this work when people are like, my martial art is better than yours? Does this work when we go fast and they don't know my attack? I don't know their attack. Does this work? You see these variety of things. So we started putting these other filters in place. That Hatsumi's information had to go through those things too. And that coming out to here, that's how I got to like the thing that I'm teaching you guys. Not how I'm teaching you. Those are a different set of filters. What I'm teaching you went through those filters. Okay? So it went through the 4 main guys, through Hatsumi Sensei, then a whole bunch of other martial arts. Okay, so if I got a BJJ guy and he lays hands on me, well, how does this work? If I've got a Muay Thai guy, right, and he's coming in and he's trying to get in control and knee in it, how does this work? If I got a good boxer, how does the thing Soke's teaching, can I still apply these principles there? And as you can imagine, people think, well, Soke's doing these ninja style of fighting. There's no ninja style of fighting. There is no style of ninja. People have made it, right? They've made it. That doesn't exist. There is no style of Hatsumi style of fighting. There's the principles that Soke teaches. Okay? So Toshindo, Stephen Hay's system, it's a Toshindo style of fighting, which has peculiar things unique to him that are not zero, or they're above. They're energy that you put out to do certain things. Does this make sense? That's a style. So Taekwondo has, high kicks. That's the energy you put out. It has a look to it. Muay Thai has a look to it, right? Muay Thai, because you may be throwing your elbows. You may be it has a look to it. Okay? Soke's martial art doesn't have a look to it. Yeah, well, that's the whole point, is it's form, because it's principles, right? So it just looks like an old dude doing nothing. Well, that's, if you can say that's a form, okay, but it looks like he's doing nothing, right? So that applies to everything. Multiple attackers, knife fighting, gun fighting, and then when you start to see the world's best in all these different areas, they're doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. Look at a world-class like competition shooter. He's not going like, there's none of that happening. So these are the filters that we went through. You have to develop your filters too. Okay? And now I've had to develop filters for like what works in training. How can I leave this guy and have him be better next time I see him? This is my struggle. I'm just Gary. Right? So it's like, how do I get this out there? So before I used to be concerned with how do Bujinkan people perceive or understand this. I don't care anymore. If they ain't getting it in 30 years, they're not going to get it in 32 years. But it's not, okay? So I'm working with people that I'm working with. And it'll grow. But the filters are, all right, how do I get Jim to train so that Jim can get better? How do I get Matt to train so that Matt can get better? And Bobby, and Mitch, and Eric. Okay, how do I do that? And that's what we're doing now. And it requires just becoming a good uke, having faith, and then being disciplined enough to just do the work. Do the work. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. You know, when we have questions, how come all these people disagree with me about Bujinkan? I'm going to tell you why. They weren't willing to do the work. Oh, they'll argue that. Oh, yeah, I've been in as many years as Rob has. Sure, there's a lot of people who have trained as many years as I have. None of them have done the work. They just haven't done the work. And if they have done the work, those are the people that'll be like, oh, yeah, what he's doing is good, it's correct. Because they've done the work. People don't like that, that's just too bad. So just do the work. What I found is, remember these filters, a whole bunch of stuff I had to go through? It's just very little. Dan knows what I'm talking about. It's just very little stuff. But you got to do the work on that very little stuff. If you do it diligently, it's a year, 2 years, you'll be doing like master level stuff. Go to film master level. There's always next level, right? Yes.
And then Lewis, so if you think about, like, let's say you were doing all the martial arts that exist, and then how many of them are relevant for the lower amplitude, lower amount of force, lower amount of speed, right? Like how many movements then, styles or movements would make sense, right? If you keep whittling that down, and then you add the fact that we're dealing with a hidden advantage, like a weapon or multiples or whatever, right? And you whittle that down, so let's say out of 100 techniques, you only have like maybe 1 or 2. But then what it felt like to me, I started training in martial arts a very long time ago. I was a little boy, did a lot of different systems, became instructor in different systems, right? So then Rob and Hiromi are like, time to throw away that 90 things out of the 100. And I said, no. And it was like a 10-year process of coming to grips with that. And then when I could finally make that transition and say, okay, I'm going to focus on this because this is true, it flipped. And that one thing created everything out. And all the things that I thought I was getting rid of, they came back, and then I could actually use them in a way that was good and wasn't like destructive. So there's a light at the end of this. It's not just throw away everything and do the, no, yeah, that's one piece, but then it expands again.
So again, I was just laughing. So we're looking at the book, The Art of the Ninja, with from information from the Tenchi-Jin. So Bujinkan people are big into the Tenchi-Jin, right? And in the Tenchi-Jin, Soke is written like, okay, you have this Kihon Happo. So whenever you have po, it doesn't mean like Happo 8 ways, but it really means just infinite ways. So it becomes Banpo. Well, Ban is 10,000 ways, but it really, it's inferring from almost nothing to almost everything, okay? And so the translation has been, it is said that the roots of all martial arts are the Kihon Happo. Like, that's not what it says. What it's saying is, from the Kihon Happo, and what Soke wrote, if you understand, not if you can, not the Kihon Happo, if you understand and can apply the Kihon Happo, if you understand and can do the Kihon Happo, not do you know the choreographed form of the Kihon Happo, do you understand the Kihon Happo and can apply it? From that will be born 10,000 ways of using it. From that comes any martial art you want to make. From that, if you understand the principle, not do you know these 8 techniques and therefore you're a wizard. That's where people have gotten lost, is do you understand the essence of it and can you apply it? Then from that's born, like you said, okay, we want to do some Taekwondo high kicks? Sure, I'll show you where to put that in realistically against people that are trying to just knife you to death, okay? Sure, once you understand these principles. So that's why I say we have these 3 criteria that we want to measure our taijutsu by. Are you moving slower than the attacker? Are you moving less distance? We say less amplitude than the attacker. And are you moving with less muscular force at any point of contact in the thing? It doesn't matter how good you are. You could be world-class BJJ guy. You could be Gordon Ryan. And the question we'd put them as like, all right, so are you going to get better by being faster? Is he going to get better by having more muscular force? No, because you see the guys, I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's the top BJJ guy. Okay, he's not going to get better by doing more movement than the other guy. He's not going to get better by moving faster or using more power, because the dudes he's going up against are much younger and they're in the gym, and they're, so they got all the things they need. He's only going to get better by being able to do what he does with less speed, less distance, and less muscular force. And he would agree, because he's a student of John Danaher, who also, if you want to see someone else talking the way I talk, read John Danaher's stuff. It's weird. I'm reading. I'm like, whoa. If I were in BJJ, it would have been my article he wrote, because he's BJJ focused. But it's great. Okay, so I just want to talk about this because this is like the filters of training and talking about having faith and what you need to do to get through that period of I'm not sure to competence, incompetence to competence. That period. Okay. All right. So next piece. Moving on. We're going to do this. So Gary's standing up. And we're just, come towards me a minute, right? So it's going to do this, and now Gary's going to push into me and try and push me, and then punch. So, yeah, feel that? So I'm going to come in, just push and punch. Ooh. See how it looks? So there's many, many ways to get into this. Come together, push and punch. Ooh. So you see all I'm trying to do is like the knife thing that we did, right? So it comes in, push, punch, and see how I'm trying to stay close. And if you want to keep this safe for you guys, just punch each other in the center of the chest, right? So I'm here as he does it. Boom. Good. See what I'm trying to do? Trying to get us used to that. Once you get comfortable, you can go for punches in the head or whatever. But right now, just punch in the chest. Do you understand what we're doing? So we can start here. Put your hands on me. Put your hands on me. Here, you can win. So whenever you're ready, punch and push. So I let him push me. Do you see that? So I'll stand here. Push. See what I'm going to? Let's try that. GoPro, stop recording. Okay. I'm going to do this on Hiromi because she's got some good stuff here, and then there's one thing that's, right? Huh?
I have a question.
Okay.
Because if like this, I can do, but like this,
Do however you want. Do however you want. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
By the way, in case anyone's wondering, and as we have future seminars and stuff, whenever there's a question, the answer is it doesn't matter. Whatever your question is, it don't matter. Your question is meaningless. If you're like, well, Rob, what about if I'm wearing glasses and they've got a 0.2 diopter, whatever it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. You'll find that. That's the, if I just put, it doesn't matter. Whatever your question is. So she's like, well, I got my foot here and I can do it. Then I put my foot together and I couldn't do it. It's like, no, that's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. You couldn't do it either way because the important piece is missing. Did anybody see what the actual important piece was that was missing? Here, switch to the side. Just see if you can see it. Yeah, oh yeah. What?
Totoku is on the inside. Does that matter?
That is the correct answer. Why is it on the inside? Well, when we say the totoku is on the inside, what even does that mean? There's only one thing about totoku. It's what? Yeah. Is it in the correct place or not? So we say, was it on the inside? Was it above? Was it on the porch next to the broom? It's like, what? All of those artificial things that you're trying to make, give me black and white, here it's this, okay? So here's what happened. I'm gonna go slower. I'm going, boom, do your thing, do it. You gotta do your thing, okay? Boom. See their arm right there? It's completely stretched out. And inside, see how my shoulder's right here? So, as I push her, as I go boom, put your arm here like this, This is what she did. My arm goes, oh. See how as my arm's sliding off that push, it feels it. Then it just goes. Same with Bobby. Bobby's much bigger than Hiromi. Same exact thing. So what does she need to do?
I will aim your elbow to outside. But you did something like that, and I wanted to do that.
So what Hiromi believes that she saw me do is not what I did, because her human eyes are misunderstanding.
Right.
So I did do the thing.
Okay.
It's just
So
not what you
did this
thought I
now.
did.
Okay. Maybe, kind of. Okay.
Okay. So here's, do you guys see this position that she's in? Step forward. Okay. Do you see this? See this position?
Yeah.
Okay. Now just watch her for a moment. Observe this position. That's the position that she took when I pushed her back. Can you guys observe this?
Yes.
You guys all seeing this clearly? Okay. Step over here for a minute. Gary, come here. Okay. Gary's going to push me. Okay. What did I look like when I made contact with Gary?
Move forward. Yeah.
So what was Hiromi again? That is the difference. So it's the wall drill, right? So as just push, don't even punch, right? See what I'm doing? I'm already trying to get in here. In other words, I don't want that guy to get his punch position. So Dan said it. Dan said, Rob's not actually giving me my opportunity, my chance, my turn to punch him. I'm not giving it to him. So I'm here.
I thought I was going to go.
Yeah. Do you understand?
Making it look like you are, but you're not.
So that's this. So this is what I'm saying. From what you guys can do in this room to what I'm doing is just a matter of degree. I mean, in some cases, right? So as Gary's pushing me, boom.
It's so weird.
Right. So there's no point at which I'm blocking anything. So Hiromi, because she is a woman and 100 pounds, she automatically feels when I go, boom, there's nervous system tension going on. So come over this way. So now, see how she's already trying to brace. She's already trying to start with a brace because she feels she's going to need to make power. So that's why I keep put your feet together. So the more that you guys can start already handicapped, start in a weak position. Again, what I would do if I were her is stand on one foot so that I definitely couldn't generate power. That's what I do. She shouldn't do that yet because she needs to get the motion, right? So when I go, boom, look how good that was.
Yep.
Okay? So she can do this. Where she starts to fall apart is where? Anybody? What? Well, no, she did it on the push. She just did the whole thing.
She's taking the wrong shape in space.
But she just did it correctly. Do it again. Watch. She's doing it correctly.
Yeah, it's the reflex skill
Okay?
filling that space.
When she doesn't do it, when she does not do it correctly, why does she not do it correctly? But why? Why? Don't tell me what she's not doing. Why is she not doing it? You guys know what why means, right?
Relying on her own habit instead of actively.
It's way easier than all of that. What, Gary? She's afraid. So when the intensity or the speed becomes too much, her normal human woman defense mechanism, monkey brain, comes up and takes over.
Not monkey, woman.
What's the difference? Just kidding.
So when we're in class, like as someone who's, we need to be able to recognize this immediately so we can recalibrate the thing for the person so they can do it and then bring it back up.
Yes, that's exactly right. So for Hiromi, she just got back into it and did it better. But normally what I have to do is what? No, what would I have to do normally? Take the threat level down. It's what I did with Jim. I have to take the threat level down. Keep taking that threat level down until she can operate competently. So what did I say? We're trying to develop the ability to maintain composure under progressively more and more stress. Okay? So if the composure is starting to break, how do we train? Take the stress back down until composure can be maintained. Now, here's where Hinomi or anyone else runs into problems. How much time does that take? Can you do it once a week? Once a month? Can you spend 2 minutes a month, 2 minutes a week? Will that give you enough? Nope. You're going to have to, for a period of time, immerse yourself. For a period of time. Not forever. For a period of time. So, Hiromi has the I live with it syndrome. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
What?
Yeah. Familiarity. She has the master right there all the time. So, meh. You understand? So it's just like Hatsumi Sensei. How good was Hatsumi Sensei's wife? I mean, she lived with the dude. She could be training day and night all the time. That's never ever going to happen, you know. So Dan, he's really, really awesome. His wife is the sweetest person on earth. She's training all the time to get, yeah, it's like, she's cool and she's done it. She's been in the dojo and taught and stuff, right? But it's just like, okay? So this is the same common thing. That's right. So, you know, the key is you gotta find someone else that will just train with you as much as you want to train. And then just drill the shit out of it. So Jim, you live in Jacksonville, and these guys live in Jacksonville, and I know you got your weird backwards schedule, and then you guys have your own schedule. So, but when you find time, you got to do it, and then you got to keep each other honest, and you got to drill. And there's a threshold called the flywheel threshold. It's like you got to do it so much, and then one day it just starts turning over by itself. You got to break through that threshold. Everyone does. Got to break through that threshold. Discipline to get from incompetence to competence. It's that threshold. And it takes immersion. And it takes stopping to do what you were doing that makes you have the bad habits. Okay? So if you're going to Budokan class and they're making you do this and do this and do this and do whatever they're making you do, you got to stop doing that for a while. For a while. It's maybe 6 months. It's maybe 8 months. It's maybe 4 months. Maybe a year. I don't know. Everybody's different. But you got to stop doing it for a while. And then you'll develop this whole new sense, and then you can plug stuff back in and be like, oh yeah. And then you'll be like, I don't need these teachers anymore. Not all teachers, just some teachers. You'll be like, oh, yeah, they missed it. I get it now. The thing they're trying to teach, I get it. But I get it. Get it. You understand? So let's get back into this. Now you saw what you got to do, right? You got to go, so shogeki ukemi. Have I talked about that yet today? It is shogeki, receiving impact. This is all shogeki ukemi. So it's, Kamai's broken. Gotcha. Okay? Shogeki ukemi. Again, this is a fundamental piece of all martial arts, especially Bujinkan. Soke talked about it briefly on occasion. Seno Sensei talked about it fairly often. Oguri Sensei talked about it. Nagato Sensei talked about it. No one in the Bujinkan does it because it's not a formalized thing written down in the Tenchi-jin. And yet, it's as fundamental as breathing. If you can't breathe, you can't do martial arts. Okay, guys, so just in case you're wondering, where's the noodle knife? Steering wheel, knife me. Gary's noodle knifing me. Keep cutting like we did earlier. Remember this drill? Yeah. And what did I say to keep doing? I'm staying here in the fight where I'm getting cut. This is Deathland, right? And I'm going. And keep cutting. Boom. Understand? Now put the knife down and push punch. Two-hand push punch. Do you guys recognize anything similar here?
Yes.
It's exactly the same. Now, because I got comfortable with the knife, his punch is just like, it's like cotton candy. I hate cotton candy, but it's like that. Right? So as he pushes, I'm just going boom. Because why? Knife cut, knife cut, knife cut, knife cut, boom, 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 right? Because I got comfortable getting cut 10 million times. I don't care about that anymore. And now when I'm looking at this, so he goes, does a one-hand push punch, right? It's like,
It looks like total Bushido.
yeah, right? So here's, if you can get comfortable with the knife, I mean, there's not really much scarier than the knife. I mean, a gun is, especially from a distance, but really, a blade, someone with a blade this close, it's not much scarier than that, you know? So if you can just get comfortable so that you're doing this with the pool noodle, then you work your way up to the foam knife, right? Then you work up to kind of like the smooth plastic knife. Then you work your way up to like the metal ones that are not sharp, you know, and you're starting to wear some eye protection just so you don't like accidentally take one on your teeth or something like a face shield, you know. Then you start, and it's going fast, boom, boom, boom. Then you're like, oh, okay. Like, oh, that's cool. I can do this. Because you took your 10 million cuts, and you're just like, oh, that's not what's important. What's important is push and punch. So you can even push and punch me in the face. It's okay. Right? Do it again.
Did I pull that? Yeah.
See where my hands are going? So do it again, right?
Gary hit him.
So you see, he missed me on purpose, kind of subconsciously, and he's like, no, I got to fix it. Well, go ahead. And then one time, this rubber caught the rubber on my shoe, and he saw it. My eye went back, and I went, because I'm trying to do what? I'm trying to go here and fill a space. So it's to fill in the blank. Why? Because you're not going to control the kukan from outside the kukan.
Which is why level 4 Midori is difficult if you don't do that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So again, you know, you work with level 1, 2, 3, and 4. A lot of people work through that. And they're like, I'm getting good. Go to level 2, yeah, I'm still good. Level 3, I'm good. Level 4, die. Why? Because we go from one attack to multiple attacks. And as soon as that occurs, people are like, oh, I've been fooling myself the whole time. Yes, you have. That's why you got to go back down the ladder. Okay? But here you understand, with this punch thing, it's 2 push, punch, 1 hand push, punch, the same thing. So just push with your hand, right? So boom. See, why am I okay with that punch? I know where it can go. Why? Because I've been here so many times. Understand? So now push punch. I know where that's going. So even at high speed, I just know where it's going. You will too, because you know how to drive a car. It's the same thing.
So sometimes when I'm training for guys, because I'm long, I'm like, oh, your arms are so long. But the reality is, it's going where their face is until they move their face at the right time.
Everyone says that about Matt. It's just, his arms are so long. Does that change anything? Well, it would if he were about 4 feet taller. You know, I mean, there is some point at which, like, okay, he can touch me and I can't get anything to touch him. Sure, but he's not that. He's not that. It's the same thing here because, like Matt said, he's punching you. So that means that wherever the shoulder is, this is the target. It doesn't matter where the shoulder is. The hand still has to go here. So there's a line from the shoulder to the target. There's still a line from the shoulder to the target. You know, I mean, I guess if he's doing this, it might be difficult to do it, right? But if he's got to get here, get on your knees, man. No, you stay there. Okay? So just right, and then punch, right? So just punch, actually, right? Sit. So I had the shape. So watch this again. I went. So don't hit me hard. I'm not going to move, right? No. Do that one more time.
Gary.
So what? How much did I move? I went, okay. So now punch again. Do you understand? You didn't see that one coming, right? Let's put this up there. So he's punching here. He goes, dude. Do you understand? It's not about he's too tall, his arms too long. I know. I remember I had that same excuse at some point in my life. I think I was 16, but whatever. Keep doing it. Let's do this drill again. Change partners. GoPro, stop recording. All right, guys. So Gary had a question. What if someone shoves you really hard? What if someone shoves you really hard? Did you guys mute yourself already? Okay, good. Right? So, over here, Gary. So, what we were doing before looked like this, a normal thing. So we're here, right? So he shoves, right? No, just shove me into it, right? Right? I'm in close. Now, what if he comes and shoves me harder? Okay? What's the difference?
You adjusted the distance.
Yeah, so it's a simple thing, like just push me a little bit. See my distancing? Now push me more. See my distancing's the same relative to him? So the harder he pushes me, the farther I will travel, which means the farther he must travel. Okay? What I'm still trying to control is this. Can you touch my face from here? That's what I'm controlling, see? So push me and then do that. Push me and then do that. Understand? It's the same thing. Whether I'm standing here, he pushes me, push me this way and do it. Right? If I'm here. Right? Notice I'm push, but I'm already coming back in. That's the shogeki ukemi. So whatever direction it is, I'm trying to come back in. If he pushes me here, I can't lean back in like this because I'm going to be stuck. So I actually come back in like this. Right? So that's from behind. But from the front, it doesn't matter how hard he pushes me. Go ahead. So, again, my landing and position looks like this. I'm still trying to get in to eat up his space. What I don't want is this. Push me again. See how I'm straight? I need to be like this. So that I'm falling into that space. Because there's going to be a gap. It's like just push and punch, right? So like, boom, I'm falling into that space that he leaves. Does that make sense? I'm falling into the space. So when we're in here and he does that, I go ahead and say, boom. See, I keep falling in the space. So even here, when you take a step over there, watch, I don't do this because he'll push me. Instead, what I do is this. See, I fall into the space. I'm trying to teach you guys to fall into the space. I'm trying to teach you to keep, and then fall into the space. Fall into the space. That makes sense, right? And so the bigger the amplitude of the push, the farther you will travel and the farther he must travel. That's the easy answer for that. Okay? Is this pretty cool? Okay, so let's move on now. Let's move on. Let's take this, let's just do something fun with this for a minute. So this seminar series is going from 1 to 2. So we say moving from control or contact to control. Last series seminar was 0 to 1, moving from freedom to contact, like first contact. So Gary and I are here, and Gary throws a punch, and I go, boop, there's contact. So this is 1. But in real life, like after you throw your first punch, what do you do? So do your Floyd, right? So it goes, boom, right? And then, see, now I got from 1 to 2. So 0 to 1, 1 to 2. Then the last part, which will be probably next year, is 2 to 3. Our next seminar will also be 1 to 2 because there's so much stuff that we need to do, right? But we're going to pull out our knives and we're going to do just a little bit. We can't go too crazy wild, but we're going to do just a little bit of 1 to 2, 2 to 3. 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Okay? So Gary's got you left hand. It's fine, right? All right. So Gary's going to do his thing. So let's just start here. Okay, just cut. Yeah. You can use your other hand too, right? Right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get that same thing as he goes. I'm going to go block, pass. See the block pass? He's going to pull free. I'm going to switch now. As he does it again, I'm going to come over the top and just for here. Does anybody have a technique you want to finish with? Well, I'm just for the sake of training, do you have a technique you want to finish with? So we're going to finish with Muso Dori, okay? So we're going to do the same thing. Cut. Steering wheel, boop, block, whoop, okay? Now what's he going to do next? Watch, I'm going to leave it here. He's going to pull that thing out. Go back in there. So once he pulls that thing out, go ahead, whoop. Look where my hand is. See, I moved with him. He's got his hand on my back. And what's he want to do next?
Take the space.
Well, I mean, what do you want to do right now? So when I was here, okay, pull that out, right? So go ahead and do that. You guys recognize Muso Dori? Okay. So then we're going to do a Muso Dori. Just going to do this little segment so that you can have a little glimmer of, oh yeah, I remember I did martial arty stuff. It looks like that, okay? So again, we're here. He's cutting. Pump when he goes high. We pass it through. This is here. He goes to pull it out, and I just go with it. And then, see, I let him, and then he's going to fix himself again, and we go. Okay, let's try that. It doesn't matter if you can do it or not. Just play with it. I don't care if you do my Muso Dori or not. Just whatever. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, next. All right, you attack Gary, and Gary's going to do Omote Gyaku somewhere in this mix of stuff. Just cut. Just start cutting. No. Just start cutting. Cutting. No. You're forgetting the first rule of Fight Club, which is that's a movie. Okay? So, start here. Do it. Cut him. Let him cut you. No, stop that. Stop dodging. Okay? Relax. Now do your thing. Just relax. And if you can't get it, who cares? Yeah. No. Stop thinking about getting Omote Gyaku. Yeah, I didn't say think about doing Omote Gyaku. I said do Omote Gyaku. So, the guy's going to keep cutting. Let him cut. Let him cut until you feel Omote Gyaku happening. No. So, here, give me the knife. Okay? No, see how you try. Now, see, this is the problem with martial art training right here. This is why everybody sucks at martial arts. This is why. Because now he's trying to do something that he cannot do. Not him. Nobody. Hatsumi can't do this. Nobody can do this. Because you're trying to shove a semi-truck into the eye of a needle. It's not going. It's not going. Okay? Because you're trying to catch this thing while there's a knife just cutting you to pieces. Do the knife drill. Do the knife drill. Do the knife drill. Okay? What are you doing?
Doing this knife drill?
No. That's you trying to block me. The knife drill is get cut by the knife. You can put your hands in steering wheel position if you want. Okay? Relax. Steering wheel position. No. See, you keep trying to dork me with your arms, okay? Remember, I win. Let me win. Can you touch my shoulder control points? Can you touch my face? Okay? Now you start. Now see the focus is off of the knife and he's on to the thing. Do you guys understand why I don't teach finishers now? Because nobody's going to get the finishers if you can't do this, right? Okay? Now, can you do the upper knife thing that I did here? The little block on the upper knife when I come up like this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? No, don't try and grab my hand. Okay? See how you crossed over your own line? Boom, you die. Okay? So keep moving. Boom. Did you get my shoulder? No, you didn't. Okay?
That wasn't your shoulder?
No. Yeah. So here's the problem. It's my fault. I used the word shoulder when I meant scapula. When I said scapula, but I used the word shoulder. And because part of your shoulder is in the front, many people think, oh, if I touch the front of the shoulder, I got him. No, you touch the front of my shoulder, you just died. You touch the side of my shoulder, you just died. If you get my scapula, you live, okay? So scapula. Right, see how you can get it there? Good. Nice, all right. Now we're starting to get into the mix, right? Boom. Okay, now I want to come in here, all right? Boom. See you stuck to my arm? So the drill he's got to get to is to stop trying to catch my knife. So watch. Your left hand's fine. Okay, watch. I want him to do this. You can cut my throat. Okay, I want him to do this, and then I want him to go like this. Keep going. Don't stop. See how my arm is getting in the way of your stuff a little bit? Okay. So once you realize it's a little more, then you can cut my throat again, right? Boom. Good. All right. At one of these points, he cuts my throat. I'm going to do this. Notice where I am. So watch. Go, cut my throat, come back out. Boom. Bump. Watch this. See what happens there? Then, as he turns to get me, I go. That's what I can do next from here. Yeah, anything I like. What'd you say, though? Right? Why? Because I'm not trying to get omotegyaku. Understand? Don't get omotegyaku. Get cut. Get cut. Get cut. Get cut. That was good. 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 Boom. Boom. See you got trapped? See how he's trying to catch my arm too soon? He's trying to, his little monkey brain is, there's a cookie in the jar. I got to get the cookie in the jar, right? Right? Don't grab for the cookie. Get my scapula. Get my scapula. Get my scapula. Get my scapula. Boom. Okay? Protect yourself. So remember, it's going to be this. No, so you're pulling it. It's going to be, so don't just keep trying to grab my scapula.
Okay.
Don't just keep trying to grab left, right, or don't do that. Relax. Relax. Guys, if you learn nothing from this seminar, if you learn nothing but one thing, it's this. Got me? Learn this. Learn this. If you can't do this, you can't do martial arts. You're not a ninja. If you can't do this, everything else is worthless. If you can't do this, if we could get all the videotapes of Soka teaching class for the last 30 years, how many times do you think he used the word heiki? Heiki means unruffled, cool, calm, collected, unbothered. He's like, heiki de yaru. You do this while being unruffled. Go ahead. Oh, thank you. Do you understand? No, there's many times I could have done it in there, but I don't care. I'm not trying to do it. Do you understand? If you get nothing else, you need to get this. Because then the truth is, it looks more like this. Go. So, boom, boom, boom. So you can cut. Boom. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
One, boom. Okay? So there's your cool omotegyaku. How did I get it? Omotegyaku. Okay? But you're not going to get that unless you're just calm, cool, and collected. So let's try omotegyaku. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, who can do it? Somebody do one. How was that? It was good getting into it, right? And then once he got it, what did he do? Yeah, fought to keep it, right? I mean, that's okay, though, because this is why we don't do 2 to 3 yet. Because if you can't do 0 to 1, then you can't do 1 to 2. Robbie, I'm teaching, please, thank you. You can't do 1 to 2, you can't do 2 to 3. So you did 1 to 2 really well. And then you found it's like it came to you, and then, because we haven't trained 2 to 3, you went old school, right? Like, I got to get this thing. I got to get this. And maybe you can, maybe you can't. But that was good. Can you do it? All right, you try. All right, stop. So, what's happening every time you think you see your opening? Yeah, he's chasing it down. He's trying to chase it down. That's what everybody does. That's what everybody does. In fact, how do we learn to do a lot of these techniques? We learn to chase them down. That's terrible. Terrible. So you got to get it by not chasing it down. Of course, that's the habit. I'm showing us 2 to 3 so we can like touch it, but we're not going to stick here long because you can. You got to really get 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, right? Who else? Anybody else want to try one? It's good. You guys are doing the 1 to 2 part. That's the important part. Okay, so stop. So, what did he do well? He relaxed and got cut. He just stayed in there and got cut. Okay, and when it got not good, why did it get not good? He started chasing it. So when you're chasing it, it means one thing. It means you don't have the reflex yet to set it up to get it. It's like your tennis, you're going to serve the ball, you throw the ball up in the air, but you're like, right? You're like that dude, okay? Just because you haven't done it enough. You don't notice like dong, dong, whoosh, bam. You haven't done it enough. So same thing here. It's like dong, dong, dong. Here it is. And you just know it's like, he went to cut me in the neck. It's like, bong, whoop, omote gyaku. But right now you're like, oh, there it is. Right? So this is normal. You did the important part correctly. Important part correctly. Can you guys just do it real quick? It's okay. So that was way less force than normal. Way less force than normal. Why? Because he came in, closed his eyes, relaxed, and just felt where the knife was. Yeah, I know that as a knifer, we're just doing this right now. That's not realistic. No one's going to stand there and do that. We know that. But let's be honest. Just this on everybody has been enough to drive them into overtime. Just their head explodes. Just this, right? So if that's enough to drive people into a head explosion, then it's enough. Later on, we can get more, dynamic with it and controlling and coming around and doing crazier stuff, but you don't need that yet. Right now, this is a sufficient level, okay? So now let's drop the 2 to 3. Let's go back into this totoku, 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 totoku. And I'm going to show you another pattern here. Gary, you want to get a knife here? I got a knife right here, right? So Gary's got a knife, and we're going to be here. Cooly, 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 cooly. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? And what I'm going to do right now, you're going to, when this knife is across you and he's about to do a backhand, okay? You're going to do this. Go ahead. Swoop. Then you're going to lean in and stab me in the neck.
No.
Boom. Here, okay? So this is the pattern. Blah, 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 boom. Here. When it's over here, it doesn't matter which one it is. And you, like say you touch your shoulder. Now he goes and cuts across. Boom. I want you to step to the opposite side. So the knife is over there and you're over here. Now, once you're there, turn and bring it to get my neck. Okay? Do we see the pattern? Ooh, step. Now go ahead and stab me in the neck. See how he's bouncing over me? Okay, this will really only happen, come from this side, when he's like this. Okay, from here, just bring your arm up and boom. So do that one more time. Did you see what I just did? I just went, and I'm turning with him. So watch, this is important. Remember this awaseru, matching. I'm here, he goes to cut across, and it goes shoop, and I've turned with him this way. Come on, go over this way just a bit. I've turned with him this way, and then as it goes, I'm going to go up, and now we're both facing that way. Remember the thing I did at the beginning of the seminar with the sword, totoku coming up and forcing it, and I don't let the tip of the sword go backwards at all? That's what's happening here now. So just so we can see, we'll go from here, right? So it goes, he cuts, boop, see how the tip of my totoku's out here like this? As he goes, no, so right here, I'm not doing this. See, I'm not letting my hand go down. Come back over this way. Turn out like this. Put your left foot back over there. Okay? As he rotates towards me, boom. A lot of you will want to do this. Keep pushing. See how it wants to collapse here? It cannot. You cannot let it collapse. Instead, I'm going to do this as he's coming towards me. I'm going to push this towards him. So see how my arm came up here? And now I'm on the opposite side of his body. So I can hold like this. I'm on the side here. Of course, in real life, he's going to slash back at this point, right? So we go, boo, and I can do it again, but we're just trying to do this drill right now. Can everybody see the drill? Yes. Let him cut. And once one is coming across here, come back, take it. When he fixes himself and stabs, you go up and right through. And notice I'm staying right on that shoulder control point. Okay? Change partners and try this. GoPro, stop recording. All right. I know everyone's getting tired. So we'll take a break here in a second. Okay? The main thing of today is, Gary, stand here. Close your eyes and don't move. We'll call this the heiki drill. Heiki, which means cool, unruffled, unbothered, unflappable. Okay? Now put your arms in the steering wheel position. Okay? This is part of it. Elbows down. Okay? And at some point, now you can open your eyes, just watch what I'm doing. Okay? I want him to recognize, that was good. So we caught that moment right there? That was good. So at some point in this, oh, nice. Now don't do that. Because for this drill we're doing right now, we're going to take the heiki drill and do one of the variations of it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do anything. You're heiki. When I do this, he's got to recognize that the knife is crossed over center line. Okay? He should already have caught that. So here, shoulder. And then when I go back, let it go and catch the other shoulder with the other hand. Now make me take a step there. No, don't turn your hand and shove me over there. Okay. Use your fingertip to flick me over there. Okay? Too late. Too late. No, catch my shoulder.
I'm going to go back to his.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Gary's brain is dead right now. Okay? As many of you are. Okay? So what do I want you to do? Go back to heiki. So I don't care how intelligent you are. You can do this. Okay, that's all I want. Please do that. Okay? No, there's more. Yes. Okay, now that. Now, quick, your hand, as you do that, yes. Okay?
So don't wait.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So, if you ask me the question, Rob, should I wait? No! I said this a million times. If the train leaves at 12:01 p.m., how earlier can you get to the train platform? Early as you want. What time can you not get there? Anytime after 12:01. Do you understand? There is no such thing as too early. There's only too late. I know that goes against the backward ass training that you've done for the last few decades, which is stand there like an idiot, let the guy put a bullet in the chamber, aim it at your heart, pull the trigger, and then, right before the bullet touches you, get out of the way. Show enough. Okay? That is literally being taught in Hombu as we speak by a grandmaster of a couple pieces of paper. Okay? Be careful. You will be taught crapola if you're not paying attention. There is no too late or too early. There's only too late. Okay? So, as he's doing this, he did really nice. Watch that. Ba-da-doom, ba-da-doom, ba-da-doom. There we go. There's the timing, and then I come back here. So, that's good. So now, as you go with me. You understand? Like, step with me. Too late. It's okay if you're too late. You just catch it on the next one. Just be prepared. Too late.
Okay.
Your hand's too late. Too late. That's it. Good. Hand up, totoku. Extend it out. Because where's this thing going to go right now?
To my neck.
It's going to go. Whoonk. Okay? So this needs to be here. Okay? So as you feel it touch you, you go up, and we're both going to turn and face that direction. See? I had to wear Gary out all day long today to get him to this stage of excellence. Okay? So everybody try that. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, let me show you a little bit about catching this. I know we're getting tired. I understand, and I really, maybe we should take a break. Let me just see something. What time we got? Anybody? Yeah. Oh, it's my phone. What time is it? 5:30? Yeah, okay. So we're going to finish this segment, and then we'll be done. All right. Yeah, so catching the rhythm of this. So I want to talk about this last piece is what is the reset? How do you reset? When you're getting stupid, when you're doing too much stuff, when you're getting tired, when you don't know what to do, which is a lot of times, right? What's the reset? It's this. Can I have the knife? Jim, what do you think the reset is?
Go back down.
That's right. Heiki drill. Show me heiki drill. This is the reset. He gets back in here. Yep. He gets the steering wheel. It's near my chest. So he's here. This is the reset. Do you know what's going on next?
Keep going.
It doesn't even matter. Does it understand? It's like, okay, I'm doing this. Right? See, he's just doing the heiki drill. When you start to go like you're losing the plot, drop back to that. That's your reset. Once you get the hang where you, this just becomes your comfort zone. You're like, oh, I know where I'm at now. My hands are right there. So when this comes up, see what he just did there? I didn't tell him that was coming. He didn't know it was coming. Remember how bad he sucked just 2 hours ago? But now, look, we didn't set this up beforehand. I'm just going, boom, boom, and he went right into the thing. Why? He did the reset. He's got the drill. This stuff will not take long to become competent at if you train it this way. If you complexify it, it will become difficult. Okay? So this is the reset drill. So all I was going to say about that is when we're doing the reset drill, not that, just this other thing that we're doing, we're getting this piece. Cut me a minute, right? So you're doing this, is the timing of getting the shoulder, right? And it looks like this. You see what I'm getting it? Watch. See when I'm going to get it? So I'm already preparing. So it's here. I'm already preparing. Cut. See, I'm already there. So when he goes to cut me, watch. Understand? I'm already there. So from here, if I'm doing this, go to cut me, doink. See how it's already out there like that? No, it's just one. Oh, sorry. Okay. So just cut. There's doink. See, I'm already there. So what's actually happening? It looks like I'm doing a bit of kung fu sticky hands. I am not. Slow motion. I am not doing this. See, I'm stuck to him. Okay. I'm doing this. Okay? Yeah, right. So, cut me fast. See what that looks like? So one more time. Cut me fast. Yeah, so all I'm doing is this. And then he is his trigger. So just bump a little bit. Just not so hard, just a little bit. Boom, boom. Okay? So watch. He goes boom, boom. So, don't move. I'm going to close my eyes. See what happens? It's a trigger. Because what is coming next? If this knife is crossing from here to here, what's coming next? Well, it's something from over there. Will it be a stab or a slash? I don't know. Doesn't even matter. Understand? So what I'm trying to get us is, we're here, blah, 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 there we go. Understand?
Yes.
And then, because we're on this opposite side, I'm exaggerating for the camera to see. When did I get that on there? So cut again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, my hand was there. So if he were cutting at me, I'd be like, woo. See how I got that in that moment? So cut me again. Okay? That's not actually cutting me. I don't know if you can tell that or not. It's not cutting me. It's touching my shirt, the flat part, and because it makes a sound, it's touching right there, and I'm getting his shoulder. And then you see how he's flying over there. So one more time. So I'm going, woo, woo. Go ahead. See how I've already got it, and I'm getting that shoulder there? Do you understand? This is the part we're trying to get to. Okay? And even in the last piece, I'm not going to hold on to that. That's just a moment in time, then I'm trying to stop and go. Right? No, that's fine. You did good. So, 2 things here is the reset, which is just the heiki drill, go back to that. And then catching that shoulder is this. Gary punches, and he goes, whoop, it's there. You understand? So when it's close, I'm already there. Can't get it now, it's over there. So punch, now it's there. Okay? So if you got a knife, cuts across, whoop, see it's here. If it's over here, I can't get it. How do I know when I can get it? So watch, I'm going to show you this magic secret. Cut. Oh, look. Oh, look. Oh, look. Oh, look. Oh, look. You see, I'm touching that. I'm getting it. There's the shoulder control point. I'm not extending my arms. I'm not doing anything wacky. I just know that as he goes, there it is. So, like Dan talked about earlier, it's the discipline of your steering wheel control, and then you just realize it's coming to you. So, once I know it up close, I know this. Just come and stab or punch, whatever you do. Notice I don't change. Well, I know what this is. I know where this goes. Okay? Do 2 punches. Understand? What? I know where it's going. I know where this goes. Now, how complicated is this piece? It's pretty simple, right? And it's sheer simplicity makes it hard to do. Because we want to be like, right? We've learned all this stuff. We just got to not do so much stuff. All right. That's it for today. Okay? I mean, we may play around later tonight, somewhere after food or whatever, but now we'll take a break, decide what to do. Let me see. Any questions out there in Zoomola land? You guys are good? Excellent. All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 11. Just not really bright and early. Oh, maybe for you guys. Bow. Boom. GoPro, stop recording. This is totoku. Now, what's also interesting is, if I'm doing this, I'm just using my right arm so you can study this. Looks like this. And then, instead of turning like this with my hands, that would be the sword tip doing this, I'm going to turn my body. So here the shield is protected. I'm hidden behind the shield here. And if the thing is coming on this side, and I go, now the shield is on this side. You see I'm hidden behind the shield here. So all I'm doing is this. This is not super complicated, okay? And you got two of them, so you can be like, okay? So it's just like steering wheel. Okay? That's our positions. So these are fundamental things. So today we're gonna do some of the fast knife slash thing, working on this totoku position. But you need to understand, this is just a basic thing. However, your flinch reflex will want to take over, and you will, guaranteed, bet everything you own, you will do this. And you will do this. You will not maintain the steering wheel arm position. You will go at some point, and you go probably a whole lot. So the goal of training is, like we said last night, we're exposing ourselves to the stress. The training is to maintain your composure under increasing levels of stress. Maintain your composure, which means you don't go into flinch reflex. You do not go into flinch reflex. Grace under pressure. You maintain your composure under increasing levels of stress so that you can put together a coherent counterattack. A coherent counterattack. Not but a coherent counterattack. Okay? That's what we're after. And the only way to do it is this increasing levels of stress, and then trying to maintain a simple, uniform position. Not straight, not totally bent, but in the steering wheel position. Okay? So that's these fundamental pieces. Now, having said that, we're going to get into the first drill, and then I'll come back and talk a little bit more. But I want to get us moving. So the drill we're going to do is actually from the previous set of seminars, which is the start far away and close drill. We're going to do ninja tag, and then we're going to do ninja tag with the mutodori. Okay? So I want to break this segment up. So GoPro, stop recording. If you can't do shogeki ukemi, you can't do martial arts. Period, the end. Okay? So let's try this drill again. Have some fun with it. GoPro, stop recording.